nice. Let's go for a breakaway on the Jays to raise the cup. We'll be standing on our heads till we meet them at center ice. Hockey is back, Jack. Hockey is back, Jack. Hockey is back, Jack, baby, and we'll meet you at center ice.
Gotta tell you, I'm a little bit worried about the hockey players who apparently were partying all night long last night. The regular season begins back in 2 days. Why are y'all smiling and laughing at me?
Where's your hat?
It's a big ass head, man.
You okay?
Yo, when I sit on the throne, all right, this is the throne, Dave Damashek. This right here. You were in the throne yesterday. How'd that feel?
I was just going to remind you that apparently you missed the fact that the week started yesterday.
No, I didn't miss it.
But a pleasure to see you.
I was sick, all right? So I
With
didn't
what?
miss
With what?
anything. I was sick with sickness.
Still are.
I've been in a house of disease the last few days, all right? I'm much better now, thank you very much. You don't have to be worried about that. But when I sit in the throne, this is my look in the throne. I don't wear a hat in the throne. I don't
Also, you bring respect to the throne by not wearing the hat.
It's like when you go to a really nice restaurant. You know, you wouldn't wear a hat in a really nice restaurant, right, Dave?
No, indeed. So the gravitas is what you're going for here.
This is my look when I'm on the throne, when I'm in the big chair. This is my look.
You wear your fanciest ratty hoodie.
Well, I didn't think about that. Thank you for pointing that part out, Amin. So this is my look. Y'all get used to it, all right? Probably my look the rest of this week. Anyway.
Are you contagious?
No, I'm good. I wouldn't do that, okay? You could hear I'm a little bit stuffy in my voice, but I would not come back if I was going to get anything.
I don't like that when people act like they know exactly when and when they're not contagious. Like, how do you know you're not contagious?
No, I could tell. I could look at somebody. I could tell.
Do you have a fever?
Yeah.
If you have a fever, you're contagious.
No fever. Never even had a fever. Never had one.
Not contagious.
That can't be true.
I didn't have a fever this weekend. No.
Never this time. I thought you were saying you've never had.
Oh, you thought in my life I've never
like,
had a
that can't
fever
be true.
before?
Cock of the walk, baby.
Establish for the audience that Greg is lazy and late.
Greg is not here yet.
And when he sits down, pin him against somebody. Maybe Dave this time. Let's have fun.
Yeah, we'll probably make fun of him when he sits down because he's going to complain about the traffic. Even though there's never – I come from Broward also. There's never a good traffic day. Like, what's the day you arrive? Like, oh, traffic was amazing today.
Some Fridays it takes like 45 minutes, and that's a good day. But yes, you're right. It's an hour plus every day.
Allow me to defend the man who's not here. All Browards are not created equal. Where in Broward are you? Where in Broward is he?
I'm very west. Like, I'm in the worst part of Broward.
He might be in the worst part.
No, he's west as well.
Yeah, he might be wester than you.
Oh, what's
It's a west
he
off.
lives in the Everglades, okay? Like,
All of
I'm
that
as
is the
far
Everglades
west
anyway.
as you can get. I'm in Cooper City.
The issue is that Zaz and I, who live similar to my dad, give time that if traffic is bad, we still get here before 9. My dad just plays it. I'm going to leave it this time.
He refuses to adjust.
We've been in this building for 5 years.
Have we decided that Matthew Tkachuk doesn't need to show up anytime soon to the Florida Panthers? It's all over with for the Panthers. No one wants them trying to make a run. It's a lost cause, right?
Well, this is what I'm worried about, Dave. You know, the guys. And first of all, was our crew at 11 last night?
Some of us were.
Who was there last night?
I was there.
Oh.
Amin was there. A lot of people thought he was Kash Patel. And
Get the hell out of
Ethan
here.
was there.
A lot of people complain about ice. I said, man, that's not me.
Okay, hold on a second. All right. Did anyone actually, like, did you
wear
see
the outfit?
people, like, were they eyeing you down and they thought that you were Kash Patel?
Well, someone called me a fascist, and I didn't know if that was because of the show or maybe
That
because
could
they thought
relate to
it was Kash
anything,
Patel.
right? Yeah, you can talk about anything there. So there may have been people who thought you were Kash Patel.
Absolutely. It didn't help that my eyes were crossed. But I told you guys, if I keep doing it on the show, it's going to stick like that. My mom told me that.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Side note quickly, Mike Ryan, just before we started the show, he and I were talking up close and we made eye contact. And I have to say, listen, a little sunshine in this world ain't a bad thing. Mike Ryan, you have very pretty eyes. Very pretty eyes.
Wow.
I was
Thank you.
struck by it as we stood in the morning light. What did your eyes behold last night, though? At 11, what struck you?
Well, you know what? Like, this whole Team USA hockey thing is a bit complicated. You know, I'm an ally. I put myself out there. I'm also wearing a Matthew Tkachuk jersey and a Team USA hat. And I'd like to get into, like, what later today is going to look like with the players going up to Washington, D.C.
Oh, they're going today?
They're going to be present for the State of the Union.
Yeah, right.
Well, the women have taken the opportunity to decline the invitation.
They said they were too busy,
Their
right?
schedule.
Why, you think?
Because they were made fools of in that viral video. I understand anyone that has drawn the line, that even took a little bit of joy and had all the joy go away watching what this team has done with this moment. I think some of them, you could argue they're victims of. They've been props for a propaganda machine, no doubt. And unfortunately, many of them are willing participants and probably pushing that too. It's a complicated thing, and I understand why people feel some type of way about it.
Can you wear sunglasses at the State of the Union? Because there's no chance these guys are going to be like fresh and ready to go.
I want to go back for a second to something Amin said, all right? Because my mother also told me that if you cross your eyes, they could permanently stay that way.
It's true.
Your mother told you that
Canon
also.
stuff from parents, right?
Human mothers also said the same thing.
What
But
was-
ours is a little different. Ours is if you do the cross and a bug flies by, then it'll get stuck.
Oh, it's a two-part
Really?
process.
Yeah. So like if you got your eyes crossed and all of a sudden a bug flies by, boom, it's stuck.
That'd be a hell of a coincidence if you're doing the cross-eyed thing at the same time that the bug comes.
That's what I'm saying.
What
I
are
never
some of
did
the
it.
things that our mothers told
Hold
us
on.
would happen if you don't, if you do it? It will, like, stick permanently.
Too close to the TV.
Oh, yes.
That
it'll
one's
ruin
true,
your
I think.
vision.
Close. That one might be true.
My mom said if you pick your nose too much, your finger could get stuck.
Your what?
Your finger?
Could get
How
stuck
many
up there?
years did that work on you?
I was 32 years old when
I was always afraid of, because one of the things that I was told was if you're one of the kids that flip your eyelids inside out,
Yes.
that they would stay. I was afraid of that.
I don't like those kids. Those kids never grew up
I
to
didn't
be
like
anything
those
good.
kids either, and I was afraid that if I did it, my eyelid would stay. And I got news for you. If my eyelid stayed inside out, that'd have been a tough life.
Can't make eye contact with anyone.
waiting 30 minutes after you eat to go in the pool.
Oh, yeah, that's
That
a
was
big
one.
one. Big
No,
one,
don't
swimming.
do it, Mike. Don't do it. Don't. Your eyes are gonna stay.
See, what did I tell you?
What
They
happened to
never
those?
they never amounted to anything good.
Those pretty eyes.
It's gross, but also pretty, isn't it? I think we can all agree.
What's up with this guy, dude?
More than one of my children believed me for multiple years when I would do the thing of I'd be like, see, look at one half of me. When you look at me from, I'm trying to get to the camera.
You
like,
got this.
Look, this side is nice and thin, but when I turn around, like, look, I got a big belly.
Whoa!
That was a magic trick.
Wow.
And my kids, it came to a head when one of the kids said at school, like, my dad's belly on the one side is fat. Show them. And like I had to show other kids. I'm like, what? I've got the remedial child.
I want to try that
Half
with my
of me
kids.
is fat. Yeah, see if it works.
Good luck.
So what did you see last night at 11?
Well, you know, this being my third hockey celebration at
Go on.
11, a little jaded. Don't have the same kind of connection point, so not as fun as the Panthers celebrations. I will say, though, I got a little teary-eyed when the pole dancer went up with Old Glory. That was a moment in time. I really felt joy from sea to shining sea.
Tkachuk put his medal on her.
No, he did not. That was after they try to avoid like those photo ops when the players walk in with the Olympic medals. But you know,
What time did they arrive?
They arrived at around 11.
Yeah, it was. They weren't. I thought they were going to be ridiculously late,
Okay.
but apparently they went to dinner and they came right after dinner.
That's what they do every time.
I like that.
I didn't see any videos from the double-decker bus ride around Ocean Drive, but I imagine they were all standing at attention by south of 5th, waiting for their opportunity to take a glance at Jake Sanderson.
When they're on that double decker going around Ocean Drive, like Matthew Tkachuk, I would imagine he's got the microphone. He's like the MC. He's standing in front. He's because he's done this tour like a couple times already. He's showing everyone the landmarks, right?
If you didn't know, like me, if you were like me and you didn't watch any Olympic hockey, you would have thought Matthew Tkachuk was the best player. He was the captain. He was the guy making everything happen because he was the guy. He was the MC.
Yep.
He had the mic. He had the cigar lit. He had the flag around him. He was making requests, DJ requests. He was giving speeches. They tried to get other guys to talk. Nobody really wanted to do it. Kachuk was the only guy who was really embracing that role.
Yeah, it was like that for the Panthers celebration until Sam Reinhart got the microphone and didn't shut up for 2.5 hours. But yeah, it was an interesting celebration because I haven't had a championship celebration centered around the country. So instead of like "We Are the Champions" every 5 songs, yeah, you'd have that mixed in, but you would have like these American standards, like
Well,
"Proud
have
to
we
Be
ever
American"
had-
and
Of the red, white, and blue.
That
Toby
one,
Keith.
Oh, my God.
Well, so
That
we've never
song,
had
big
this
dog.
type of celebration in your lifetime, right?
No, certainly not for hockey. I mean,
Well, but
when-
not
for
for
any
soccer.
sport.
Well,
Well,
yeah, any
wh-
sport.
well, when USA basketball wins, like you'll
expected.
celebrate at the bar, but everyone's not like, "Hey, where are we going after this?" And also, basketball celebrations are a little bit more exclusive. I think one of the cool things is, and I do think it's a testament. I mentioned this yesterday of how the Florida Panthers have changed hockey culture down here. When New York gets snowed out, the hockey players on the bus are like, let's go to 11 because those championship celebrations seem so fun. I thought it was cool that they were among the people, that it wasn't exclusive. It was more of an inclusive type of deal where people are reaching out, touching people, signing jerseys, and having fun with other Americans that were
We bring
happy to
other
be there.
Americans into the locker room to celebrate with the team. What are you talking about? This is old news.
I told Mike yesterday that when they make the movie, the miracle movie about this team, there'll be a scene after they win. It's all right, guys, let's go to New York or D.C. And it's like, this just in, massive snowstorm cripples the Northeast. And like, guys, what are we going to do? And Matthew Tkachuk leans in and says, I know a place. And cut to 11. That's exactly how it went.
Yeah, but I'm also sure that there was some vibes. Like, you ever tell your friends, hey, you got to try this place. It's amazing. And you go in there and the place is totally empty. I imagine that's what it was like when the double-decker bus went around Ocean Drive. A bunch of Europeans confused outside of Mango's. Like, what is this?
What are you doing?
Is that Jake Ottinger?
Who are these people? And why is it so cold outside?
I just realized that much as Kurt Russell got to play Herb Brooks, that we are sitting now with Amin in the future movie about the 2026 Olympic team, that you're going to get to play Kash Patel, giving the big
sure am.
inspirational speech in the locker room.
And
Good
then
for you.
that's a role that I will cross my eyes and let them cross forever for.
Are
To
you
be in that movie? Yeah.
Are you, though, think globally, act locally, root nationally, or root locally? Do you feel like Matthew Tkachuk, it feels like the Panthers are probably a little too far away, but it's plausible they could get themselves back into contention. Would you be raw, Panthers fans, if Tkachuk was like, the medal and all the effort for the 2 weeks and then the celebrations? I need a couple of games to get right. Like I'm not gonna dress for the next.
They might
game
all
or
do
two.
that.
He is going to get a couple of games. I think there have already been teams that say
I think so too.
that players that have been playing for their countries are going to get a couple games rest. to
No
get there.
issue with that.
No.
Yeah,
It's
they need to
is
go to
what
the
it
State
is.
of the Union.
But every game is so important for them down the stretch. I heard Dave Hyde say yesterday that based off some projections, they have to go 19-6, the final 25 to make the playoffs.
Yes, they have to do something crazy to make the playoffs.
And
yes.
and in order to do one thing, they would have to do is have Matthew Tkachuk in the lineup, right? I mean that significantly improves their chances. And if he doesn't dress, and obviously I know we're talking about Miami-based hockey, but of course my heart belongs on the banks of the Three Rivers, and that team is in contention for the playoffs as well, currently positioned. And now Sidney Crosby almost played in the gold medal game, but then at the last second he just wasn't right. What happens if he's like, yeah, I'm going to take the next 2 weeks off. My knee was almost good enough to play in a big game like the gold medal game, but not enough for these regular season games. I wonder what the reaction is among
we'll ask
NHL
you.
fans.
You're a Penguins fan. We can ask you.
I'm conflicted is the answer to that. I mean, I don't have a black and white answer for you. I'd be conflicted about it. I would love for Crosby to burnish his career, his legacy, and all the rest of it had he played and they won the gold medal and all the rest of it. But if it meant that, boy, going out there on that knee was rough and now I need 3 weeks off, it
just
would
rolls
be...
off my back as a soccer fan. That's what happens when these guys go to play for their countries and they come back. look, and it doesn't have to be your country. I'm an Inter Miami fan. Every time that Argentina has friendlies, I'm like, well, there goes Messi for 2 games.
I mean, who cares about Messi in this dumb American soccer league? That's not comparable to some.
No, I'm saying, but I'm programmed that way to
I get
understand when players leave to represent their country, there's going to be a reacclimation point. They're logging minutes over there. They're probably going to get eased back into the lineup. It's rare the occasion.
That's a culture that exists and has for many decades in soccer. That's different than American sports, big time, multi-millions of dollars annually, and all the rest of it. Zaz, what do you think? Were you a high-end hockey player, would you say it's more important to me to represent the nation, and it will in fact trump me in terms of deed and all the rest of it, and dressing for the big game? It's more important to me than dressing for an NHL game.
Well, as a fan, it's more important to me that he dresses for the Panthers, that he dresses for Team USA. That's me.
Interesting, right.
But as a player, I think the conversation is it's that conversation where if it was the playoffs, I would be playing. You know, that's what it is. But and the gold medal game is the playoffs, and then he comes back and it's a regular season game. It's like, all right, I need a little bit of time here, but if this were the playoffs, I would play.
I'm sorry, did you not want to win the gold medal? I'm a little confused. We need Matthew Tkachuk out there for the gold medal. You know, he logged some minutes. He's played a lot of hockey over his career. I'm good with giving him 2 games to recover.
Yeah, just it is what it is. Like,
We're
I'm
selfish
fine with
people.
It's not like it's a
What are you
back-to-back,
talking
though. He's getting I mean, I know he's at 11 last night, but he's had, it'll be 4 days
the
since
State of the
previous
Union
game?
tonight.
The State of the Union. Well, you want to talk about that? I think
we'd
you want
love
to talk about that because I think it's more than a fair criticism, and I can understand why people check out on this team entirely because of it.
Can I ask a question? Forget for a second who the president is or how you feel what the president is or whatever. Would you want to go to the State of the Union? It's boring. Why would I want to go?
So boring. When I'm at home, I could turn it off.
Oh my God!
If you're there,
I have never said State of the Union's
So
on.
boring.
Let me lock in.
This one
Never.
promises to be memorable.
No, I'll give it a chance. I'll watch 10, 15 minutes when I'm at home. Have you grabbed my attention? All right, I'll keep watching. Otherwise, I'm changing the channel. If you're sitting there, oh my God, I'm falling asleep.
And you're in a suit. Imagine you're in the suit there. You're itchy. What if it's hot in there? You're sitting there sweating in the suit. And you're like, oh, I can't leave. I can't get up.
I sneeze a lot. I'm a loud sneezer. I'm a multiple sneezer. What if I sneeze in the
What if
middle?
I have to cough?
Someone say, what's that?
On the other hand, though, it is a hero's welcome. I mean, you play your entire career to be honored as a national hero in front of, policymakers and really important people thanking you for the job that you did. I can understand the internal conflict that people might have.
If the entire argument is that these guys are too myopic, they're too insulated with all their money and fame and all that comes with that they don't really care, they're not deep diving on politics, then why would it matter to them to be cheered by the Congress?
I mean, I'm not looking at Brady Tkachuk looking for foreign policy.
That's what I'm
advice.
saying.
Yeah,
I mean,
I saw
they're
videos.
pawns, and there's no way to argue
They
around
are.
that. Matthew Tkachuk might think this is the moment of his life. I guarantee you, because they are human beings, they're not a monolith sitting there. This is the greatest. Some of them voted the other way, so they're getting jammed up there. And why it's bad is. And for all the people that are straw man arguing this, oh, yeah, Kash Patel's a bad guy for wanting to celebrate that. Donald Trump's a bad guy for calling in. You're upset that the president of the United States called in and they laughed. No, these are straw man arguments. The problem is that they're getting jammed up in that spot. And now whether or not they want to be in there, Matthew Tkachuk clearly wants to put his gold medal on Kash Patel. Everybody standing around laughing uncomfortably at Trump's joke don't want to do that. What are you going to do in that moment? The idea that you would end the call or something is not a plausible result there. You're wishing that somebody would do something you wouldn't do in that same spot, but they are ultimately being used for someone else. I'm sorry there. I mean,
No,
long-winded.
you got it. You got it. Juju, put it on the poll. If you had a choice for one hero's welcome, would you rather be at the State of the Union or 11? Because I feel like, there's
Or
no
both.
Second night at 11.
I mean,
Third
third option, both.
No great. No, because here's the thing: State of the Union. Okay, these old white people are gonna applaud me and say thank you for what you did for their country. They're boring, and I have to behave. I have to be well behaved. Man, them boys at 11 yesterday, they had the time of their life. And my favorite ones were the ones who aren't Panthers, because you could see their eyes widen, whoa, what
There's
is all
only
this
one
about?
Panther.
Austin Matthews is like, I may never get this opportunity again.
Let's welcome Greg aboard the show today.
Yeah.
Hey, good morning.
How was breakfast? Breakfast was good out there?
Good
We
morning,
saw you had
everyone.
yourself a little meal while you
I'll
were
tell
here
you what,
before coming in, huh?
The egg and ham sandwich was extraordinary.
Why'd you say it that way?
And the reason is the croissant instead of the tougher English
Most people say
muffin.
ham and egg, but he goes egg and ham, huh?
Yeah, you lead with the egg when that's the standard.
Yeah, the chicken wins.
Interesting.
The chicken wins.
Which
here.
came first?
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's
I
interesting.
say
Yeah.
the chicken and egg. What percentage of the old senators and Congress people cheering tonight even watched any minute of Olympic hockey?
Oh, I think a good portion of them
Yeah?
probably
Do
watched.
you?
Just mentioned the Senators, like Brady Kachuk and Jake Sanderson will be there.
I do wonder though. So the team tonight, they'll be sitting like in the rafters.
Yep.
Okay.
Willing Pawns.
But that place is always packed, of course. The team, it's 20 players. So are people having their seats revoked to make room for the players?
A lot of
Tonight?
Dems aren't even showing up. They can just fill those seats.
Plenty of seats available, Zaz.
Yeah?
Yeah, if you just scroll on the old socials.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, a lot of people are boycotting this. A lot of people plan. There's talk that people plan to get up and leave during it, and there's always extra room for assembled media and VIPs.
Oh, okay. All right.
But it's pretty bad being honored at the State of the Union, which is the dullest, most boring hour and a half
Thank you.
in political history. I can see the White House lawn, because that you expect. You expect the token White House attaboy here. But the State of the Union, when did that become a thing for teams? You know, I mean, Trump, and this is not a criticism of Trump, because any president who's in office right now would do it. But Trump or any other president is going to wrap themselves in the flag, take credit for the Olympic performance. We did so great at the Olympics. He's gonna take advantage of that. And as long as the players realize, and sometimes I get the feeling Matthew Tkachuk is a little bit tone deaf on this. As long as the players realize that this is an immensely unpopular president with half of the nation, and so going to this to serve as a willing pawn is controversial. And as long as they realize that and accept it, then I'm all for it.
They don't realize it. Like, that's the part in all of this, is that they're constantly saying, this whole group is constantly saying, keep politics away from this. Keep politics away from this. We don't want this to be political. You welcomed it in. You welcomed politics literally into your celebration and bringing Kash Patel into your locker room, or not denying him access. Not that would have been a very popular opinion amongst those guys, and maybe they didn't want that getting out, but you're making sort of a show with him right at the front as the biggest celebration.
But isn't that
And
where
then-
someone part of the management team of Team USA needs to say something like, if you think one of the players for Team USA is going to stand up there and tell Kash Patel not to come in the dressing room and celebrate with them, you're nuts.
I'm
You're
sure-
nuts.
I'm-
No one's going to do that.
I'm sure they were all brought to it, and I'm not even saying that they needed to. I'm saying when politics enters the arena, you are now inherently political. And when you accept an invitation to a State of the Union that is going to be a State of the Union that rants and raves against immigrants, against members of the LGBTQ community, against all sorts of different people, it is going to be a disaster tonight. And you're going to have all of these hockey players sitting there, maybe for the first time, realizing, what did we get ourselves into? We talked yesterday about the concept of, like, how is this going to age? And I don't know that these guys are going to necessarily change their minds. There will be some who are supportive of the president. There are others who are not. But when you're sitting in that room and you're realizing what's going on and some of the things that are going to be said tonight about the American people
That
and the
could be
people who
interesting.
live in this country, that is going to be a giant stain on these guys and the way they're perceived by the way, more than half the country. Trump is a very unpopular president at the moment.
Yep.
The people who love him, but he's an incredibly unpopular president when you look at the polling around the country.
It's the most unpopular he's ever been during his career as a politician.
Which is why he's wrapping himself in the flag of something that's actually successful,
It's
which
useful.
is this team. I desperately wanted to enjoy. I did enjoy this. I was feeling so American and proud to be an American when USA won the gold. It was awesome. And within 30 minutes, politics got brought into it. I didn't ask for that. I didn't want politics to be brought in. I just like folks on the right, I'm saying, please keep politics away from my sports. It's my space to escape too. I know we delve into it, but our show is more than just a sports show.
How would the other side feel if they win And look who just walked into the locker room to congratulate the other guys. It's Colin Kaepernick.
Mm-hmm.
They would have lost their goddamn mind.
I feel like we're also walking into a trap right now because this is so historically unpopular for progressives, Democrats, anybody that is in opposition of MAGA to take out the U.S. men's hockey team. See, we can't even enjoy this when they were the ones that made this unavoidably political by having Kash Patel there, by having the president speak on the speakerphone, by getting invited to the State of the Union. And I feel like, and it's okay. Look, I like our hand this year better than I've liked it in years previous, but this is a losing position for progressives coming out and trying to take away people's feel-good and inject it with our opinions, even though they're the ones that made it political. It's why they do it so often. It's why they go to sports so often. It's why this administration in particular is so deft at handpicking who they go after, and we're walking right into the trap again.
That's exactly right, and it is not a great spot to be put in, and I don't give either side credit for seizing on this, but that's right. What it amounts to is Josh Pate or Jelly Roll or otherwise now react, and I'm sure at some point Matthew Tkachuk like, oh, now it's a problem for me to do. Yeah, it was a problem always for you because for the last 10 years the message has been, I want to leave politics behind and just get lost in sports. Now all of a sudden it's okay for you to align yourself with this. Of course, it is. Tolerating intolerance is not a great position to take, and that's ultimately what Tkachuk and otherwise are doing here.
You know what I'll be watching instead of the State of the Union? Heat Bucks, baby. I can't wait. And I'll tell you this: Miami Heat win a couple of games this week. I'm going to be even more annoying about that than I am about politics.
Oh, is that right?
Don't let them do that. Don't let them win 2 in a row.
How is that going to work?
Is that right?
Don't let them win 2 more. Don't let them get to 5 straight wins.
I'll tell you something.
This healthy Heat team,
I'm very happy with what I'm seeing and hearing from Tyler Hero. Okay,
that's right.
Tyler Hero should be coming off the bench, not because he's not a starter in the NBA, but that's just what's best for this team. And what he's been saying after these last couple wins and how well he's been playing, saying all the right things. I like Tyler Hero coming off the bench. I think I might be with you. If the Heat win these 2 games this week, that's a 5-game winning streak.
It's a 5-game win streak and likely headed into Friday sitting in the 6th seed away from anyone else outside of the play-in, all of a sudden turning into Greg's team you don't want to play in the first round.
Yeah, there you go. I forget the acronym for that team, TW. Yeah, I mean, Tyler Hero's saying all the right things publicly. I wonder if behind the scenes he and Spo have had the conversation about I'm not real happy to be healthy.
Gosh, but it's so like you might be. You happen to know?
I happen to know.
You happen to know that's not.
I happen to know that there has not been a complaint about coming off the bench behind the scenes.
Good for him. Not yet.
He happens to know? Great Scott! He happens to know. He happens to know. Gather everyone. Get the children. He happens to know. So wise.
Dave, do you have a question?
Sorry about that.
Jesus
I thought that was
Christ,
done.
Dave.
I'm sorry,
Do
Tony.
you watch the show? Do you know what we do here?
You have pretty eyes, too. Now, listen. I'm curious in the local hour here, and with Greg Cody now arrived, what is now? Maybe it's Matthew Tkachuk's position. It could be Dolphins quarterback. What is the greatest single position in Miami sports history? You can cross into any sports. It could be hockey goalie. It could be starting pitchers for the Marlins. It could be running
Like, what's
back.
the position we glorify the most?
Yeah, what's Miami's greatest position?
I mean, it's got to be quarterback. I think it's quarterback in almost every.
Quarterback for
Marino,
whomst,
Greasy.
Quarterback for whomst?
Ryan Tannehill.
Is it a bigger deal to be a quarterback for
That's
the
your
Hurricanes?
greatest position you've ever had?
Kane's
Miami
running
Dolphins.
backs,
No,
right?
Miami Dolphins quarterback is the category. Or the U quarterbacks or the U running backs.
I feel like you running backs.
You
has to
running
be
backs.
right?
Come on now.
I don't think it's even
in
particularly close.
in this city's rich sports history, the single greatest position that you could offer up to the sports gods is our local college's running back.
Probably Miami Hurricane running backs, yeah.
I don't know about that.
I saw a stat recently. They have by far the most 1,000-yard NFL seasons out of any school.
Yeah, that's combined. Like Frank Gore had multiple 1,000-yard years. So that
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm just saying it's not as though they have the highest number of
players,
individual guys who got to 1,000 yards.
Gotcha.
I think the quarterback is always the king. I mean, look at both of UM's Heisman winners have been quarterbacks. The past 3 years, Cristobal is getting credit for winning the portal with star quarterbacks, not running backs. And I think down here, though, you look at players, not positions. And if you're making an all-time Mount Rushmore, you start with Wade and Marino, and then maybe just on merit you add Lionel Messi, even though he's only been here a few years.
What the hell are we talking? You can't have Messi
forward.
and Marino on the same list.
I
We're talking about those aren't even the same sport.
In terms of efficiency in pro sports, getting the most juice out of that position, attacking forward, professional soccer, even dating back to Lewis Morgan.
He's got you there.
Did you see?
Sheesh. That's how dire things are in Miami.
No, that's
that
how
you're
great Leo
attacking?
Messi has been. That's how great he has been.
They have like the fourth best player in the history of the sport.
Speaking of the Hurricanes, did you see? So there's a banquet every year. It's like a Steve Spurrier kind of banquet deal where a bunch of coaches come and they all hang out. I guess
Malachi Tony got some award for freshman of the year. I believe
big dinner. Everybody has a great time, and there were some words thrown around last night at this Spurrier banquet. Okay, first. This is Kirby Smart, all right? He's the head coach, Georgia Bulldogs, and here he is taking some shots.
Mario's right behind him, and if it had been up to him, he would have paid a lot more NIL money because it came down to us too. So I don't like you being real close to Mario right now. You know what I'm saying? He's still got another year left. Got to be careful around Mario. Sometimes he'll take your players, if you know what I mean. But, no, I'm just kidding. It's all right. I was talking to Mario earlier, and he came up to me, and he gave me a Lane Kiffin joke. And he and Lane are very similar in a lot of ways. They're like best friends. And he came up to me, he's like, you ought to start getting on some protein shakes. You've had too many carbs. And I said, well, you probably ought to spend some time with Steve Spurrier because he won more conference championships at Duke than you have at Miami.
So a little bit of a roast there of Mario Cristobal from Kirby Smart. By the way, when Kirby Smart says he'll take your players if you know what I mean, was there someone there who didn't know what he meant?
I like the core, if you know what I mean. You don't get to do that when you're saying exactly what you mean.
Who didn't understand?
It's like saying Zaz got a big ass head, if you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. Apparently, Kirby Smart has riders. That was pretty good.
That was good.
Good tight five from him, by the way.
All right,
crowd control, the command with the mic, waiting for the laughter to finish. All right. That's a pro right there.
The Spurrier thing, it stung.
I'm not sure he's kidding.
Well, let's see Mario's response. Let's give Mario a chance here.
I'll tell you what, the first thing is it's a great piece right there to watch what a player like Carson Beck could do with great coaching. You know what I mean? No, seriously, let's give it up for Kirby Smart. Let's give it up for Kirby Smart. If it wasn't for all his years of pre-NIL, we wouldn't have NIL right now. But, if you reach the money, Robinson family, great seeing you. We leave at 9:30 on the real jet. We have more than one restaurant in Miami as opposed to Athens. Certainly appreciate being here. I know I could go on for a little bit now. But no, you gotta give a guy like Kirby credit. You know what I mean? When you have all that time to sit at home watching us play on TV throughout the playoffs, when you don't take care of business, but congratulations on the SEC and the championship. That's awesome. We were 5-0 against the SEC. I don't know what you were, but man, I'm in enemy territory too. I got a feeling some of you are on Kirby's side. But no, you guys are super professional. I never felt so welcome in enemy territory, except last year at the Swamp, 41-17. But
okay, let's first of all, Mike. It's like look at Mike Ryan.
Mike was enjoying it.
He was.
What are you doing with that hand?
It's like you were at the Apollo cheering in the crowd,
man. He sounded like me when I was listening to Andrew Friedman talk about 3-0 changeups.
That was my first time seeing that. That was great.
Okay, can we go around the room here? Who won that battle there? Kirby Smart or Mario Cristobal? Tony, who won there?
Mario, you saw him working the stage too.
Oh.
He started walking to the other side, walked this way. It was great.
All right, one for Mario.
He was
Mike.
doing clear setups.
Dude, that was a 10-8 round.
Jeremy?
Mario Cristobal.
That's Chris?
Kirby.
Amin?
Zaz, I go to roast battle whenever I'm in LA. I know the roast battle people. I know Jeff Ross, all those guys. I'm gonna tell you right now. That Mario Cristobal, he's got a welcome spot in the belly room at the Comedy Store. That was A1 material.
Greg?
I want that Mario Cristobal at all times.
Every day, right?
I want him in a post-game speech. I want that Mario all the time. I thought that was brilliant. I don't know if he wrote all those jokes himself or not.
know he didn't.
Doesn't matter. He was great. He won.
Dave?
Listen, I like to debate things, who's better than whom, but listen, credit to both of those guys. That was well done. The presentation from both, how did they both have those jokes holstered and delivered in the way they did? They both, it didn't appear that they were reading off of anything.
Like I said, I go to roast battle. A lot of times these comics, they're reading off a phone. They're checking off their phone, their notes. Like, what am I going to say about this guy? These guys going out the dome, they're not comedians. But like Tony said, the delivery, the pacing, the letting it breathe, it's all A1. Like, I have a new respect for both of those guys today.
Yeah, Kirby Smart did draw first blood. So Mario was sitting there, looked at his watch, said, I got time today.
But, like, that's the part that I'm kind of confused about. It's like, yo, those were retorts. So how many of them could have been pre-written?
Well, because these were all things that were front of mind when we were chasing the playoffs and then in the playoffs, 5-0 against the SEC.
Well, and who was the
winning in
kid that they
swamp.
were talking about, Mike?
Ellis Robinson, which was a great recruiting battle between Georgia and Miami. He ended up going to Georgia. It should be noted, plenty of Miami Hurricanes, not good ones, but plenty of Miami Hurricanes went to Georgia. They outnumbered the people that came over from Georgia.
Marlins right fielders? Gary Sheffield, Miguel Cabrera, Giancarlo Stanton.
All right, and that right there is your spring training updated day.
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Our pal, of course, is David Sampson. Nothing personal with David Sampson. You can catch every morning. Joining us now. Good to see you, David. How are you? Hello.
Look at you in the chair.
That's why I'm not wearing my hat, David, because when I'm sitting on the throne, this is my look. I have a different look no matter what I'm doing. This is my look when I'm in the main chair.
I think you should be you no matter what chair you're in.
Thanks, man.
There you go. You should have a crown.
That's what I'm talking. Okay, all right. That's taking a little bit far, but that's, your opinion.
Yeah, you earned it.
And you need more makeup. It's very shiny.
Well, there's only so much we can do, all right? There's only so much that we can do. David, I want to start here by getting your thoughts. Over the weekend, we saw Pat Riley was the center of attention in Los Angeles. They honored Pat, and then the Lakers got smoked by the Boston Celtics. That Laker team's not any good. I got news for you. And Riley got the statue. Do you think it's weird, David, for Pat Riley to be all gung-ho about the Lakers while he was still, the sitting president for the Miami Heat? Is that strange at all?
Yeah, it is. I was trying to think of the last time that an active player or an active coach or an active executive got honored with a statue while active with somebody else. And I couldn't come up with it. I don't know if you guys can, but that's a first for me. I give credit to Mickey Arison and Nick Arison because I would have been a hard no. Like, just wait your turn. We want to be the first ones to do a statue. We did a court. We did a bunch of stuff that was cool, no question, in Miami. But no, he's not a Laker. He's not even known by most people for Showtime Lakers. For me, he's the Knick coach. For most of the world, he's the Heat guy. So I found it to be just ill-timed. On the other hand, when you're older, you don't want to wait too long because you'd hate to not be alive for it. So I was in for that. So I was very mixed.
He's primarily known as the Showtime Lakers guy, right?
I would
disagree
concede
with
that.
Yeah.
And it really didn't happen in my lifetime. But as the head man there, he won, 3 titles?
Four.
Well, he was a part of a staff for one of them. But
right.
He was
82, 85, 87, 88, he was the coach.
Yeah, I mean, I associate he is Showtime. I mean, he trademarked 3P.
Yeah, Mike, I think that if you ask the majority of people your age, they would associate him with the Heat.
That's a different conversation.
He's been with the Heat
and those
three
are
times.
Those are people that don't know their history.
Well, listen, people don't remember him as the Knicks. He was the most important Knicks coach next to Red Holzman in my life. Not even close. Not even a close second. And when he brought that team to the finals in '94. And so for me, I love him as a Knick. I hated the trade. When he went to Miami, that was maybe the beginning of, and I wasn't in sports at the time, but him going to Miami is what made me the type of executive I was, sort of the cold-hearted, I don't care, I have no loyalty, forget all of it, because him leaving hurt that much.
Wait, David, would you fax in your resignation if you got your dream job somewhere else?
You don't do that. So in my line of work, it's not even a fax. It's just a see you later. You leave everything at your desk.
That's what Riley
security will just let you out.
That's what Riley did allegedly, right? Like the Heat were courting him, and so when he left, he faxed his resignation to New York. That's why everyone called him Pat the Rat. That's because he didn't have the quote unquote the balls to just walk into whoever was the owner's office and say, "Look, I'm out of here. I got a better deal somewhere else."
They really courted him, didn't they? Literally.
Well, it ended badly. I mean, as you remember, back in New York, we're talking a long time ago, but there was a power struggle, and it ended badly. And when he came to the Heat, don't forget the deal. It was unheard of.
The list of demands are amazing.
Oh, my God. It's one of the great lists of all time. And Mickey Arison was just, having watched the Knicks all those years and the Lakers, it was like, sure, what else? For ownership, no problem. Team president, hell yeah. Limo back and forth to the game, we'll do that. Clothing allowance, definitely. Springsteen tickets, thumbs up. So it was definitely problematic for me as a Knick guy.
It was buy my homes from me, my L.A. and my New York homes, and give me the money. It was, use of, limo to and from the game, 20% ownership stake. And Mickey Arison, like he had just taken over the team recently from his father. He wasn't going to say no. Like he had to make his huge splash. Like Riley got everything he wanted.
Riley owns 20% of the Heat?
I don't know if it's that much, but he has an ownership stake.
No.
He has an ownership stake.
I'm going to go low. I'm going to take the under on that.
Yeah.
But that said, it made me think about what Nick Arison, who is now, for all intents and purposes, running the team, what will he do? Does he have a big splash like that coming in the next iteration of the Heat to make his mark on the team the way Mickey did on that team? Because when there's a father-son situation, very often the son wants to outshine the father, wants to do something the father didn't do, and Mickey Arison has quite a long shadow.
30 years later, though, I don't think Mickey Arison regrets everything he gave Riley. I think Riley has earned it. In terms of the statue thing, I think this makes the Heat look bad, and not for the reason that everybody thinks. I don't think it makes them look bad that Riley went to L.A. for the statue thing. I think it makes the Heat look bad because the Lakers out-statued the Heat. They should have had a statue for Riley while he's living to appreciate it in Miami, not his name on a court. That's low level.
That's not low level.
That's not low
You can only
level.
give
Yes, it
one
is, guys.
court.
Greg's right.
Low
Greg's
level.
right.
I can have 7 statues.
Do you
outside
call it
my
Pat
arena.
Riley Court ever?
In terms of eternal honoring someone.
You can only give
honoring a
away
legend.
one court name. You can do multiple statues.
You can do statues are higher ranked than courts. Like you said, nobody calls it the Pat Riley Court.
I do.
Nobody.
I got to be honest. I'm on the side of the of the court being better. There's only one. Your name is literally on the television all the time, every single game. Everybody, we romanticize these everybody needs to get a statue now. All right,
Too many.
The name on the court. I think Chris is right. You know, there are a lot of statues outside whatever Staples Center is called now, Crypto. A court, you can only have one name on it. I think
It's a
the court,
consolation prize.
Thank you. Yes. Bingo.
We already
All I
named the
kept
arena.
thinking-
We have no other soil left to name after you. Well, let's name something inside the arena. An item inside. What's next then? The next coach gets the chair named after him. What are we just going to name inanimate objects within the arena after people now that the court has been claimed?
I kept wondering whether Dwayne Wade, who
Dispose
was
to a
there,
scoreboard.
do you think Dwayne Wade looked at the Pat Riley statue and said, wow, that looks way more like Pat than
Yes.
mine looks
Yes.
like me?
Yes.
Oh, hell
He's got to
yes.
be thinking that, right?
Yes.
It's a good statue.
David Sampson, if you could have anything named after you to honor you in one city, what would it be? You could have a trophy. You could have an arena.
A bridge.
That's a great answer.
Is it?
That's a fantastic
Oh,
answer.
the Tri-Boroughs now the RFK Bridge. An airport, it would be second, but a bridge would be first.
Wow.
You got to get over the bridge to get into Manhattan.
Maybe the number one answer. Well done, David Sampson.
You wouldn't,
Right off
you wouldn't
the
go.
cuff.
You wouldn't go stadium. Having a stadium named after
If they turn
you.
Lone Depot into David Sampson Park, come on.
No, but nobody goes. It's negatively associated. You need the bridge.
What about a
I
causeway?
also wouldn't mind if my family got a piece of the tolls.
Wow.
Well.
Negotiate that.
So, David, you think it made the Heat look bad because they did it before the Heat? You know, Pat said he's not retiring. Like, he's never going away. He's always going to have this job, and the Heat must think, well, you know, we're not going to make a statue while you're still, you know,
Why?
I guess alive.
What are you talking? What?
Why?
They did Dwayne Wade while Dwayne's alive.
No, but he's not playing. And Riley said he's never going to retire, so he's always going to be working for the team.
So you have to be honored by a team. You have to be no longer with the team.
Maybe that's their stance. Yeah, maybe.
That was the Lakers' stance, apparently.
Yeah,
It's a
maybe
bad
that's-
one.
Bad one.
I think, David, I'm curious if you agree. I think in terms of honoring an all-time great, executive, coach, or player, and this applies to Halls of Fame, I think you should honor them during their career, certainly while they're alive, but also during their career. If you have Shohei Ohtani all of a sudden announces he's retiring, put him in the Hall of Fame now. Have active Hall of Famers. If their level is so distinguished that their first ballot automatic, why not honor them during their career toward the end of it?
Do you know that there's only one baseball player who didn't have to wait the 5 years to get into the Hall of Fame? And it was Roberto Clemente, who was put into the Hall of Fame. He had to die, but a year after his playing career, when he died in a plane crash with 3,000 hits exactly, he was elected into the Hall of Fame. And Greg, this is a terrible question. Were you a voter back then?
I was not for Roberto. No, I was
Sorry.
not. No, I would, but I would have voted him in. Neither did I vote for Babe Ruth, by the way. I was not around.
Can we ask Greg at the end of the show if he would have voted him in? See if he remembers what his answer was.
Right, I'll nail it.
We'll circle back to that. David, this reminds me. You didn't like that Pat Riley, as he's still currently the president of the Heat. He's being honored statue at the Lakers. It reminds me what was clearly a bit of an ominous sign back in 2014 when LeBron still played for the Heat, and during the season, he flew to Cleveland to be at the ceremony for Zydrunas Ilgauskas' jersey being sent up to the rafters. LeBron was there to honor Zydrunas on another team while LeBron played for the Heat. You remember that?
Yeah, I do. We would have given permission to players. If it's an off day, I would not have let a player miss a game. And the thing about baseball is there's no off days, rarely at all. And certainly to have an off day that's coincidental to a jersey retirement for a different player. I didn't like when our guys went to graduations for kids. But I would say that missing a game, no. Missing a practice in the NBA, an off day in baseball, you don't do much. Maybe you do infield or optional BP. But in the NBA, you're practicing. In the NFL, you're installing a game plan. So I don't know that I would allow a player to miss something that was meaningful toward a game. But in and of itself, that doesn't bother me. You're honoring your teammate, even though you're not his teammate anymore. It's just a matter of what your responsibilities are outside of that.
Where do you come down on the NHL players now trying to return or maybe not returning and taking a few games off after? Outrageous to you, because a lot of people in this room and outside this room would say, listen, it was for the glory of the US of A. That trumps anything for a club sport. Mike Ryan said, I'm used to that. That's how it goes in soccer. I remind him that we're not talking about soccer here.
Right, we're talking about hockey.
Good reminder.
If you're the Panthers and you have to go 19-6 and you walk into the owner's office and say, man, I'm tired. I've been coming back from Milan, and I had to go to Washington. I had to go to 11. I need a blow. I need a couple games. All right, now we're down to 23 games, and we have to go 19-4. So I'm just not – that's unacceptable to me. I'm patriotic. I like the gold medal. I think it was amazing. But if you had to give me a choice between the Panthers winning the Stanley Cup and the USA winning the gold medal – to me, I'm sorry to tell you, it's not even close. I want the Stanley Cup.
And what your point is that it involves the red, white, and blue. What if you're the Pittsburgh Penguins and Sidney Crosby says, I can't go right now because I was trying to bring a gold medal to Canada? Now you've lost the Patriot angle on that. Now should you be steamed, not just as an owner of the team, but as a fan?
Yeah, that's why I don't want to say it's about what flag you have, because it's not about patriotism, because Sidney Crosby feels about Canada the way, Kachuk does about U.S. It's totally great.
I think Kachuk cares more.
He is.
Well,
Kachuk has said as much. Kachuk has said as much. Like I respectfully, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, it's obvious we're not talking about soccer here, but we are. In terms of country reigning over club, that's how these hockey players feel about it. Now, it's not the same for every sport. Basketball, I imagine they have a loyalty to their NBA teams.
Yeah,
and
but
we don't really
soccer operates differently with the Champions League and club, and it's much more.
I think it's actually a perfect comparison.
Integrated.
It's a perfect comparison because the last 2 years has happened in the middle of the hockey season, much like soccer has to manipulate their calendars around the FIFA calendar with all these friendlies. In that sport, just like in soccer, they care more about country than club. We just haven't been confronted with that because the NHL players haven't been allowed to play for so long.
I think soccer and hockey are a perfect analogy in this discussion. And if it applies to Lionel Messi the same way, he should prioritize the World Cup, in my opinion. And if he has to miss 1 or 2 of 34 MLS regular season games to get himself ready the way he feels like he needs to for the World Cup, I'm patting him on the back saying, Leo, you do whatever you have to do. Go do it.
Are you writing the checks, Greg?
I am not.
So the math to me doesn't work because you're not going to refund 1/82nd or 280 or 1/41st of your salary, are you?
No.
You have a job to do.
No, but it's
like,
baked
Mike,
into.
if you're asked,
but it's
let me
baked
say it
into
a better
signing
way,
Messi.
Mike.
It's baked into signing Messi that he's going to be depended on by his country.
Different.
And you take that with you understand.
Different is
that.
right though, but Sampson is right. It's
No, but-
different than saying I pay Connor McDavid millions of dollars to play. Now I'm supposed to sign off on him playing for Canada being more important than the sport that I'm paying.
It's
him for,
implied, and it's the risk that you take when you sign these all-world, all-elite athletes to these major contracts. Is they're going to be in demand for their countries, and they're going to prioritize that, and you need to understand where to fall in line.
Jeremy, if you were asked to go work for the Heat while you were supposed to be here doing this show, what would you do?
Wow, now we're doing the good questions.
Yeah, that's right.
No, it's the right question because it's where's your number one priority. This happens in contracts all the time. It happens, Jeremy knows, in broadcast deals where certain sports have priority over other sports. We were always behind the Heat. If there were a conflict with the Heat on Fox Sports Florida, which has evolved into other names and now bankrupt, it would be the Heat would have priority. And we would know that. Baseball, for their national deal, they know when they were going to be on ESPN2 instead of ESPN. It's in the contract. I'm not sure the Devils, when they signed, oh, God, I'm having a moment, Mike Hughes? I can't believe
Jack Hughes?
When they signed Hughes to a contract that they had, okay, you're going to be an Olympian, you're going to score the golden goal, take a couple days, couple games, we're fine.
Wait, that network is bankrupt?
I got Jack Hughes right. I pulled that one out my ass just from being at 11 last night.
Look at hockey.
Someone else's ass.
Look at that nice.
Did he get new teeth yet?
No, not at 11 from what I could see.
How about that nice Jewish boy, David, who scores the game-winning goal for the gold medal for the United States? That's forever. Come on now, David. Something to celebrate.
I was very happy for him, but I was thinking to myself, would I trade a tooth for a gold medal? They're both permanent. You get to keep the gold medal forever unless you have to sell it because you're in dire straits. But, man, losing a adult permanent tooth, that is not nothing.
By the way, seeing him up close, tiny guy.
They're all tiny.
Yeah,
He's a tiny guy. I thought like
tiny.
a hockey guy would be a big, strong guy. Like, no, it's all pads and skates.
And he's a baby. He looks like he's like 17.
David Sampson wouldn't even give a tooth, and you would a visible lack of a front tooth for the rest of your life in exchange for a gold medal. That's an interesting. I would go even bigger. Would you give a digit of your choosing, even from one of your two hands? Would you give a pinky or a ring finger in exchange for maybe not a gold medal, a Stanley Cup,
No.
a Lombardi?
Are you asking as a player or as a fan?
I'm not sure.
If you would ask,
I'm not sure.
I'm telling you, I thought about it for a good 10 seconds.
This is huge sports news. The tush push has been banned.
I knew it.
Yes.
That is big.
Yes. Yeah.
Huge.
In the UFL.
They just said yesterday they were not going to deal with it.
Yeah. Also, field goals that are 60-plus yards, 4 points
Oh,
now.
I like that.
Yeah.
I
And
like that.
It's stupid. You know
I
why
like
that's
that.
stupid? Let me tell you why that's
You're
stupid.
stupid.
You're stupid.
Can you hear what I'm going to say?
Wait. I think you're going to want this other piece of information before you formulate your take. Because in a vacuum, I get what you're about to say. Why emphasize kicking? Well, guess what?
Well, that's not what I was going to say, but go ahead.
No punting from inside the 50-yard line. That is also bad.
Here's why the 4 points for a 60-yard field goal is stupid, Tony. All right, sometimes you got to listen and develop an opinion before you just blurt something out. If a team, let's say, is on the 30-yard line, okay, we're down 4 points, but this field goal is only going to be worth 3. Why wouldn't they just go and lose yards?
They are.
So they can kick a 60-yard field goal,
They
run
are.
backwards on third down.
Because they are.
You think that's going to happen?
Yes, and I think it's going to be fascinating to see.
And you know, 60-yard field goals are really, really hard.
They're super
right?
hard.
Wait, how about you?
But you're down 4.
Why don't
Okay.
you
Hey,
leave,
can we-
guys? Why don't you leave the line of scrimmage where it is? Do a punt style snap, and that way there's way
Yeah.
more room. You don't
That
have to
could
take
happen,
the
too.
penalty.
That could
now
happen,
there's
too.
just more room they have to run to block your kick.
Dave has his hand up.
And that's going to be ridiculous, no?
That's ridiculous. Yes.
I don't want to be a part of this conversation until you tell me where you got that information from.
The league.
So you have a breaking news story that no one else has in the country
No,
right
I
now.
actually saw it. No, I actually saw it discussed on Get Up as well.
Yeah, take that, David.
And
Because
it's popping in my
yesterday-
UFL chat.
Yesterday, Mike, it was not on the agenda for the competition committee. And what you're saying is that the rules not only were put forward, but they were voted on by the owners this morning.
I think David may have not heard a really important part of your breaking
there's
news.
a penalty for not listening to the show, I believe. And David Sampson.
This is the UFL.
Yeah.
Oh, for God. God damn it.
You know what? I'm going to use this opportunity though to bring back my great field goal related idea, which is the kickers are too good now, Tony. You're right. It is hard to do, but better. The guys of this generation are way better than the framers of the sport ever imagined they could be. They have warped the strategy of the sport. What we need to do is we need to complete the rectangle and put a crossbar atop the two crossbars. Now the standard is raised so that the shorter kicks are not a gimme. You have to squeeze it through the rectangle.
Not a bad idea.
Thank you.
Not a bad idea. I would take it a step further. What I've been saying is I think it should be closer to like the arena football where the posts are a lot closer together.
Okay.
Teams should get to decide how they want their field goal to be, like a home field advantage. If I got a great kicker, I make this like the smallest field
that's
goal
not bad.
you ever had. If I got a crappy kicker, I want a lot of field goals. Widen.
You know what I would do? I would go so far as to say the original sin was allowing soccer players to sidewind. I would go back to you have to be a head-on kicker, or shame the devil. We're not bringing people over here to have nothing to do with football except to run out there 2 or 3 times a game and swing their leg and then go back into their hole. I'm done with that. And
shame that devil.
That's right. And you know what? Let's to entrench this. You have to play at least 5 plays from the line of scrimmage to be eligible to even try.
Oh, what are you doing?
Yes.
Also, gonna get somebody killed.
Yeah, free safety.
Also, no more shoes for kickers. Go back to the barefoot kicker. Yes. Why do you need
head-on shoeless kicker? Yes.
Shoeless.
David, are you still wallowing in your shame?
No, I'm now thinking about the NFL kicker who had half a foot, and I want to say it was
Tom
George
Dempsey.
Blanda.
Tom
But
Dempsey.
Tom Dempsey is the better answer.
New Orleans Saints.
It's an outrage that he is celebrated because his human infirmity was in fact an asset on the gridiron.
Thank you.
Because it's a flat foot that he put a steel plate into the shoe. You can visit it at the Hall of Fame, and when you do, you will see it is a driver. It's a golf driver. It's a driver head. Of course he could make a 63-yard field goal. He was swinging a driver at the football.
David,
so would you trade half a foot for the field goal record?
He did.
No, because I don't respect kickers.
He no longer has it.
David Damashek, you and I park our cars in the same garage.
All right, Cash Patel.
Long-term listeners of this show will remember when I said, was it Shaq Griffin? Right? With the and I said, you know what? It might actually be an asset to him because he just gets to swing indiscriminately with this club versus having a hand that could break and all these things. And everyone said to me, no, oh my God, you're so insensitive. This guy has a disability. And I said, it helps him. He's like Oscar Pistorius or that wrestler from Arizona State. And the kicker's the same way. Sometimes the disabilities can give you an ability.
Is there a rule in the NFL against a kicker intentionally cutting off his toes and having the same implant?
I believe that is in the rule book. Yeah, I believe it is.
Are you sure about that?
No.
Greg, I think you're onto something here. I think if you really want to be a winner in this league as a kicker, you want to really prove that, hey, I'm about this team, I'm about success, you do that surgery. You get it done.
I will never forget. I will never forget the first time that Christian Bale cut off his finger. The first time I saw it, and it was the character in The Prestige. I will never forget that moment, as that is what it means to be all in on something. And if you're going to cut your toes off to be a good kicker, that is all in, and I love it.
Ronnie Lott.
There you go.
You know about The Prestige,
I know all about The Prestige.
Movie's awesome.
Christopher Nolan.
David, you know about those BAFTA awards from over the weekend?
Yes, of course.
What?
Oh, finally!
David, give me some thoughts here.
I talked about it on today's Nothing Personal, and I'm afraid that I don't want it to come off as insensitive, but there are examples of places that I can't go. for whatever reason. I gave the example that I wasn't tall enough as a kid to go on certain roller coasters. That's just it. That's the rule. Tourette's syndrome is real. But being at a live show where there is an opportunity for that sort of talk and that sort of exhibit of what it is to have Tourette's syndrome, we can't have it. And he just should not have been invited to be at the BAFTAs. And I'm sorry. It's a great movie, I'm sure. It won Best Actor for the guy who played him. And his statement apologizing, saying that the audience was warned in advance that he has tics. I don't want to get on a plane and hear that I can't eat peanuts because there's someone with a peanut allergy. That drives me insane. Don't fly. Please, I want my peanuts. It is shocking to me that we have to sit and listen to someone say the N-word and say, hey, it's Tourette's and we warned you in advance it's going to happen. Well, Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo certainly didn't look like they had been warned about what was going to happen, and BAFTA certainly wasn't ready with what would happen if that actually happened.
Here's what I think is weird, David Sampson, is is that there was somebody out there who discovered the symptoms and otherwise of Tourette's and decided to name that infirmity after himself. I mean, naming a bridge after yourself or an arena or a court is one thing, but how desperate, how vain are you that you want the attention if you discover the disease that is Parkinson's? Like, let's name it after me. I want to.
Have you ever heard of Lou Gehrig's disease?
I think that's. Lou Gehrig didn't ask for that. They just tagged him with that. But imagine you're.
I don't know about that.
Imagine if you're Dr. Pap.
I
came up with this smear. I came up with this smear that we're going to do on women forever. Hey, name it after me, Dr. Randy Smear. For rest of time now, whenever you smear a woman, I want my name involved in it.
I thought it was Mike Pap.
Smear.
I thought it was Mike Pap.
Mike Pap?
Yeah.
I know. I can't remember.
Whoa.
Trevor Parkinson? I don't remember.
Whoa.
All right, Dave, over your right hand right there, there's a magic crate. You can see it's
I don't
blue.
think it's there. Oh.
Yeah, it's right. It should be right around there.
No,
It's
it's
the one
not
that's shimmering
there.
and it's glowing and it's got sparkles. Oh, wait, no, we've got it over here.
Will Jacob Marcy be one of the best outfielders in Marlins history? Your
That
thoughts?
was in the crate?
Yeah, it was in the Magic Crate of content.
I had a hard time believing that.
One home run in spring training. Let's go.
He looks good.
That's an easy no.
An 8 bajillion OPS at the end of his last season.
David, you got something for us to review today? What have you seen recently?
So we got the Oscars coming up, and I actually haven't heard anything from Meadowlark as to what's happening. I heard some rumors, but nothing firm, which seems to track. But I'm going through the ballot one by one, and I got to the documentary shorts. So we're definitely at the short strings right now. I'm getting to the rando categories, but man, there are some unbelievable documentaries in that category. And I want to talk about All the Empty Rooms, which should be a favorite to win. It is a documentary that's short. It's 30 minutes, 32, 33 minutes. It's about a documentarian who goes to the homes of parents who lost their children in school shootings and films the rooms.
Oh, my God.
It's heavy. It is heavy. It is sad.
You voluntarily watch this?
It's nominated for an Academy Award.
Oh, I'm not saying
yes.
it may not be really good. I'm saying, why would anyone watch that?
Because you can't put your head in the sand and pretend things don't exist, Zaz.
Especially with a big
Doesn't
head
quite
like
work.
that.
I mean, I know that these things have existed, but I wouldn't want to make myself feel even worse about it. Like, I know these are terrible things. You must have felt horrible after watching it, though, right?
Those who forget the past are condemned to relive
Yep,
it.
not
and
trying to
especially
forget.
where you live, it is critical to understand and think about these shootings and understand what we do when we vote for certain candidates or what we think about when we think about certain constitutional amendments. And this is an up-close and personal example of what it is, the shattered lives that are left behind. And it becomes, you just said something about the news cycle earlier in this segment, where you move on. Like, we're on to the next thing. It doesn't matter. Well, these families, there's no on. There's no on to the next thing. This is something that they live with every day, all day, except when their eyes are closed. Other than that, that's it. You only think about the death of your child. So this documentary goes through some rooms of these kids. It is incredibly powerful, the loss of life. It's hard for me to understand how anyone could argue in favor of guns when you see the destruction that involves with school shootings. So it's a movie that you should watch, Zaz, and it's important to watch.
I would think that it has a real cathartic impact for the parents who had to agree to let these rooms be part of the movie. I can only imagine, and thank God I've never had to experience it, but I can only imagine if you lose a child in this manner, you never stop. That you never get over that, ever. And if this can give those parents some catharsis, some meaning to anything, I'm all for it. It makes me want to watch the movie, even though it would be very difficult to do so.
I think that's exactly right. People say, and in fact, Greg, you just said you can only imagine. People, the phrase that people use all the time that is 180 degrees from accurate is, I can't imagine what that would be like. Yeah, you can. Yep. If you spend 4 seconds thinking about it, you will go into a real dark place of how grim that reality would be, and that's what we need to do. That's why you do need to look at it. I hate to get up on Mount
that's
Pius,
not right.
But that's not correct?
No, because I used to think that I could imagine things that I now am dealing with, and it turns out I couldn't. So I used to say the exact same thing you did, and that is ignorant bliss that I wish I could return to. But when the reality of something happens, then you look at it and you say, wow, I did not imagine that this sort of pain or this sort of terror existed. I pictured feeling differently, or I pictured reacting differently. So I would say, Dave, I hope for the rest of your life that you only can say, I can imagine.
No, I would like to say, I can't. I can only imagine is about as bad a situation as I hope I'm lucky enough to never be in a worse situation than that. Yeah.
David, excellent job as always. Nothing personal with David Sampson. Thank you, pal. Appreciate you.
UFL. God damn it.
Thank you, David
Bridge,
Sampson.
Though. He got the right answer. The Sampson Bridge.
I think there is some truth to what you were saying, where if you think about it, like I've dealt with, very close loss, and I always think, when someone were to say something like, I can't, how does that feel? And I would say something like, all right, well, imagine it. Imagine that the thing would happen to you. I'm like, okay, I can imagine. It feels really terrible. I'm like, now multiply it by 1,000,000. And that's how it really feels. That's the way that I describe something like that. And I don't want to say for the movie that he reviewed there, I'm not saying it's something that I don't want to know about. I know plenty about it. Okay. I don't want to sit there for however long the short film is and have that really terrible, awful thing consume me for however 30 minutes, hour and a half, whatever. It's like, I know about the really awful thing. I don't want to sit there and feel even worse about it in this moment. I'm not saying I don't want to know about it.
I feel bad that Miami's greatest position is soccer attacker. That's
Marlins right fielder, I'm telling you.
Marlins right fielder. List them all
Giancarlo
for
Stanton
me.
won an MVP.
Okay.
Gary Sheffield.
Okay.
Miguel Cabrera.
I mean, nobody thinks of Gary. It doesn't mean it doesn't
I don't care.
count,
Nobody
but nobody
thinks of.
associates Gary.
Won a World Series.
It should be
okay,
a Hall of Famer.
You're right. I agree. He should be a Hall of Famer, and you're right. I think of him in the turquoise hat. Okay. And who else? You have two.
Miguel Cabrera. Maybe the greatest right-handed hitter of this century.
He counts as a right fielder, though?
He played some right field.
Where he started.
It's when he won the World Series. He was a right fielder.
Yeah, when he got brushed back by Clemens and then hit that home run opposite field. Oh, God.
It's funny that the Canes, I think, are nationally sort of referenced as QBU, right? Or is that USC more often?
I feel like tight end U.
Yeah, briefly, though, in the 90s when they had a run of quarterbacks that were always in that Heisman picture, they were QBU.
Running backs.
They became tight end U, the same way that Penn State is like linebacker U.
Yeah, but those are, I think those are misnomers at some point. You just it's the same thing as the Cowboys self-IDing as America's team when in the year of the Lord 2026, does anybody consider the Dallas Cowboys America's team? It's much more likely the Buffalo Bills or the Detroit Lions or someone
Chiefs.
like that.
No, I think that the Dallas Cowboys have something about their branding.
Okay, but
that
we should
they're
move
talked
it.
about more often, and they're they get the attention.
But Best Picture changes every year, and so should America's team, and perhaps we should reevaluate who RBU actually is in college football and QBU is in college football at any given year. And I, as an olive branch, because I still feel real bad. I was happy as an Indiana University graduate. I was really happy that the Hoosiers won the national championship, but I really don't want you Canes fans hanging your heads. You have nothing to be sad about. You had a really nice season, and good for you. Now, I think that
condescending.
I think that the Canes might be able to lay claim to RBU, the best collection of running backs for any college in history. How say you, Greg Cody, as a historian?
I think that they've had 6 or 8 running backs who are top tier, who you're referring to, the Edgerrin James type, Clinton Portis. But I still think it's quarterback U for me. And as recently as 2 years ago, Cam Ward is breaking every season record practically for the Canes. And you know,
Beck would have cinched it for you too if he wins the national championship.
Yeah, and
he didn't win though.
And he almost won the Heisman. He was a finalist there. And then since then, they've had 2 quarterbacks who were considered the primary bullseye from the portal. So I think just in the past 3 years, I think they've feathered the reputation.
Quarterback U is a stretch.
Quarterback U is Lincoln Riley,
wherever he's at.
Oh, that's it. Well, that's a funny point, but I mean, Jim Kelly. People forget about Jim Kelly, as a matter of fact, because the titles don't start coming until Bernie Kosar. Right. But Kelly, Kosar, and Testaverde, and then Cam Ward.
Yeah, and Gino Torretta.
Long gap between the
Baker, Kyler, Jalen Hurts. It was a hell of a run that happened recently.
Caleb
was in that quarterback room, went with Lincoln Riley, won a Heisman Trophy.
It doesn't have to be that they go on to pro success. Jamel Holloway makes the list if you're talking about Oklahoma QBs, 80s great, national champion, master of the option. Yes, Amin.
Thank you, Dave. I was going to say Heat centers. You got Mourning, Shaquille O'Neal.
Shame on you not starting with Ronnie Cycli.
Ronnie Cycli.
Mm-hmm.
Jack, Hassan Whiteside. Wow. Legacy continues.
Consider me underwhelmed.
Small forward 2, LeBron James, Jimmy Butler, Palo Larson.
Don't forget Glenn Rice.
I mean, like, for instance, I live in Los Angeles. You have two position groups in that town that outstrip anything Miami has. You have Dodger starting pitchers is in contention for the greatest single position group for one franchise, but so too is Lakers center. But both lose out ultimately to Pittsburgh Penguins center iceman Sidney Crosby, Geno Malkin, and the greatest player to ever put on skates in the history of people, Mario Lemieux.
It was happening in the moment. So if I had to pick the most exciting part of my career, that was probably it. That whole 3-year, 4-year period of just constantly doing Letterman all the time and going on, writing material literally the day before and then going on and doing it. So yeah, that would certainly be it.
I don't know if you've examined this because I regard you as someone who generally comes from a happier place from with comedy, or a better relationship with comedy, where Letterman seemed it was colder, or that he would be a little miserable, or some of the negative feelings. He wasn't quite as comfortable ever, and it was part of his charm and funny. But you had a unique access to such a time in late night television where these cathedrals exist, and you elevated yourself into a place where you're telling me now as we talk that the Tonight Show and doing it, even though it was the greatest of ambitions, was somehow less fun than a time in television where you and Letterman could just screw around and not worry about anything.
Well, yeah, I mean, you kind of answer your own question. I mean, it's true. You could just be yourself and screw around. You know what's funny? Because when you start out in comedy, you go to the comedy club and you have your act down in your head and how you're going to do it, And then afterwards, all the comedians would go out to eat to one of the popular Cantors or a deli or something, and you'd get the big table, you'd order food, then you'd all sit around, you'd talk about the act and what was funny, what worked, and people would help you, you'd help them. But then something kind of interesting would happen. You'd find you had even funnier stories just riffing with the guys. And you realize, hey, I'm getting laughs here, but there's no punchline. There's no real ending to it. There's no beginning. It's just a funny story. And that's what was something I was able to bring the Letterman show, because before you sort of write joke, tell joke, get check, real simple, Whereas with Letterman, the fun was always on the way to the joke. I remember it, and I don't think I ever got to the team, but I went on Letterman's show. Letterman, what did you get up to? I said, "Oh, Dave, I was out at the old Manson place the other day. Just want to see the guys, see what they've been up to since the massacre. It's kind of laying low." And the old Manson place, where yeah, Dave, you know Charlie and the guy, and we're just talking like this, like as if they were, not horrible murderers, but and it was really funny, and people laughed, and there was no ending, there was no beginning. Oh, we just went to commercial break.
Thinking Big with Kevin Hart.
I'm very excited about doing this because this is a human being I'm very curious about. His insatiability, his conquering, his ability to be, I think I can say this, if not the most successful comedian in America, the most popular comedian in America. Usually stadiums don't get sold out. Kevin Hart, thank you for being here. I am really interested in finding out how you're built. Your friend Neil Brennan tells me, ask him about his past and you will understand why he can't stop working and why he will never stop working.
That's very true. Neil is a really good friend of mine. Great guy, too. I like Neil all around in general. He's just a good definition of a person. But yeah, man, I'm on your platform. So I'm a firm believer in allowing people to be great. And you are good at what you do. So in this interview, be you. But if we can go as in depth as you want, what questions you have, you'll get great answers and great feedback. I'm here for the greater of good.
Okay, well, I'm happy to have you. So let's start, though, with your conquering. It seems like you are hell-bent on proving something with employees and worth and building and creativity. You want to be what? Like, it seems like you've arrived at what would be a destination for any comic.
I think that it's, I can simplify it, right? I can simplify it. I think what some people tend to make extremely complex and difficult, I do a good job of making those things easy, right? For me, I look at it from a perspective of we all have an option in our life to do as much as we possibly can, right? And you can take that option and max it out, or you can do the minimum, or you can, do, I guess, what can be deemed to be the mid-level of whatever. Right? But there's things that are put around us that do nothing but give us the opportunity to succeed and grow. And it's how you use those tools around you to basically be a version of your best benefit. And my tools that I've been able to form and put myself around are people, right? I've been around some really great people that have achieved a lot of amazing things in their lives and their careers. And in doing that, it's motivating, it's inspiring.
But have you met many like you? The Rock you guys seem to have like a common space where you both understand, yeah, we want everything. We want everything. You've met a lot of people like that?
I've met a lot of people like that. I'm an entrepreneur. Right? So an entrepreneur, businessman, a mogul, whatever you want to define it as, there's people that have multiple layers. There's people that want to do a lot of things. There's people that do a lot of things. There's a lot of companies that have been developed to basically now act in a space because of their now ecosystem. They're able to do so much, right? Like the bandwidth of one thing is no longer just the one. It's, look at Amazon, look at Disney, look at these companies that have a multi-layered system, right? It's an amusement park, but then we do animation, and the animation has went into television, and now we are going out of this into experience, and experience, it's also an activation of experiential. Well, that's somebody that keeps compounding on one idea, right? Amazon, what was once one thing, well, now is Amazon Prime, Amazon Fresh Markets.
You are many things. You are tequilas. You are
Everything.
Interview shows. You are documentaries.
Everything. But it comes from looking and being inspired by the people that are doing it at the highest level. So I'm trying my best to create an ecosystem. So Kevin Hart is not just the talent anymore. That's one layer, right? The talent got me in the door to be an investor. The investments got me in a place to build on opportunities that I thought that I would never have. I have a fast food plant-based restaurant. I have a tequila. I'm in the space of health and wellness. I have my my plant-based protein to my vitamins, to my gummies. That's in Vita Hustle. Like, you have athleisure. That's in Fabletics. And then, like, these are all own entities. These aren't like.
So something really weird / stupid is happening on IMDb. Dave, you know what IMDb is?
Sure, I do.
Greg, you know what IMDb is?
I don't know what it stands for, but it's something to do with film.
Internet Movie Database.
Oh, I thought it's international. It's the internet?
Oh, yeah,
is-
maybe you're right.
it's
International.
It's
Sorry.
internet.
Okay.
One of those.
But you see how, like, I believed in you, Dave, that I thought immediately that I must be wrong and you must be right. Like, I believed in you.
It's international.
Yeah, I think it's international.
International movie or internet?
It was
oh,
internet.
Okay.
Wow.
Internet
Yeah.
movie
So
database.
Zaz was
Oh,
right.
so Dave is right.
Yes.
There you go.
The guy who
Okay.
lives in Hollywood is right. The guy who lives in Hollywood, Florida is wrong.
Wow. Okay. Learn something new every day.
Grew up in Hollywood, Florida.
Internet Movie Database.
You were going to be condescending to him.
No, I was giving him a comment that I believed him right away, and my instincts were correct to believe that he was right and I was wrong. My instincts were right. I get credit. Props to Zaslow.
Kingpin.
So something really stupid is happening on the Internet Movie Database between two fan bases of shows. You ready for this, Greg? So a new show that I have been watching, which just wrapped up a couple days ago, is a Game of Thrones spinoff, a prequel, if you will, called A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, which, oh my God, what a
Love
show.
it.
What
Love
a
it.
show. I loved it from the get-go. I mean, come on.
I didn't know what I was getting into. I
Me
knew it was
neither.
a Game of Thrones prequel.
Right.
And I was like, okay, let's see what
You
this
thought it'd
one's
be
about.
similar to House of Dragon.
House of Dragon, which I thought was okay.
Well,
but
first season House of Dragon's really good.
I thought it was okay.
Okay.
I thought it was okay.
All
So
right.
I turned this on with the same kind of expectation.
Yeah.
And like the first scene ends with the guy taking a dump by the tree right in the middle of the
And
credits.
they do the fake out of the opening credit.
Yeah. And so I'm like, are they trying to be funny? And
Yeah.
then by episode 2, I realized, oh, they're trying and succeeding.
They're trying to be funny, and this show's got some
Succeeding.
heart, and it's going to make you feel good, and it's a tremendous show. And so it just wrapped up the first season, 6 or 7 episodes, I think 6 episodes, a couple of nights ago, and it's a great, great season. If you're a fan of Game of Thrones, you should watch it, but it's a completely different tone from Game of Thrones. And I think it was episode 4, maybe, 4 or 5 for Night of the Seven Kingdoms, that on the Internet Movie Database.
It's 5. It was
Episode 5.
It's the Joust one.
On the Internet Movie Database, it was immediately scored a perfect 10.0. And it's a great episode. It's really, really great. It deserves a 10.0. It was given a 10.0. And then Breaking Bad fans, who, of course, very famously, the episode Ozymandias, spoiler alert, if you haven't watched Breaking Bad, Ozymandias is the one where Hank meets his fate. And
Oh, just say it's you didn't.
I said spoiler
You don't have
alert,
to say spoiler.
okay?
You can just say it's the best. It got a 10, a perfect 10. That's all
I
you
don't need
to know.
anything extra.
You don't
after I
need to
say
explain
spoiler.
what happened in the episode.
You're allowed to
It's when
talk about
Hank
what
picks
happened.
up the book and he sees the name Walter White.
I mean, you're allowed to bring up what happened in Breaking Bad at
was
this point.
so
It's 2026,
long
man.
Come on, Dan.
Irrelevant to his story.
Okay.
It's like me saying, spoiler alert, the U.S. won the gold medal.
Well, that one, that's a little too fresh. We're not even a week out.
So Ozymandias, originally, very famously, on the Internet Movie Database, got a 10.0. Also, well-deserved. Well, apparently the Breaking Bad fans are mad that another show, in this case Night of the Seven Kingdoms, received a 10.0. And what happens when you're mad about another show's score? You have to spam the rating on IMDb.com. Amin, can you explain what that means?
Yes. So basically, whether it's manually or via bots, they have gone in and actively 1-star voted this episode that is a great episode just to reduce its overall average so that their favorite episode of their favorite show remains the sitting on the crown.
Who gives a
seat.
shit?
Well, then, I'll tell you who gives a shit. Fans of Knights of the Seven Kingdom, because they went back and they did the same thing to them, and now your perfect 10.0 Breaking Bad is gone.
That's what you get.
That's what you get.
That's what you get.
What's interesting?
Someone figure it out.
What's interesting about this is that I don't believe the Game of Thrones episode or the Night of Seven Kingdom episode ever actually reached a 10.0. What happens with the Breaking Bad side of it is apparently whenever these prestige TV shows, the ones with bigger fan bases, are inching toward that 10.0, Breaking Bad fans will preemptively strike and make sure that it never gets there. So, like, for example, there was a heated rivalry episode that reached a 10.0, and I think might even still be at a 10.0, but not the same level of fandom, not the same level of reviews. There's like maybe 1,000 reviews there as opposed to tens of thousands of reviews like there are with the others. And so Game of Thrones fandom was mad it never got to the 10.0, so they went and started bombing Ozymandias, and this has become an all-out war where they each keep going down on the list. And now these are 2 incredible episodes of TV that are just nowhere near rated where they're supposed to be.
So we have more evidence of people being absolutely psychotic.
Yeah, nerds.
And these people are all among us. They're all around us. Like, there might be somebody out there that did this.
Who among us?
That was sitting in their computer like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to press 1 star 47 times this hour. And it's like, what is wrong with you? Go do something. Go get a life. Go outside. Touch the grass. Go walk the dog.
I like this idea that Chris just presented. Let's assume that there's someone among us who did this. Who would it be? What's the answer?
Me.
I thought you were going to say Dan, because Dan loves Breaking Bad too.
Well, it's got to be someone who's...
Yeah, but I don't know how to work a computer.
That's a good point.
It's got to be
the first thing about that.
Someone who's super passionate about their favorite television show.
I could see Zaz being a voter.
Oh, yeah.
I could see you.
Yeah.
I could see
You
like,
look, yeah, you got that
I'm
look.
the one who brought it up and said that this is a sickness.
Yeah, but he who smelt it dealt it.
Yeah, exactly.
He's right about that.
Yeah, Zaz did it.
Let me
He's
tell
behind
you,
it.
I can imagine Zaz sitting there, 2-liter of Coke next to him.
I don't drink soda.
You got a soda drinker's body. Sitting in his grandma's basement, into the computer, big
We don't have
CRT
basements in Florida.
monitor.
Just keep saying things that are factually incorrect.
But you look like it.
Yeah, you look like you have a basement.
Well, you
Has
look
had
like-
root beer,
What does
though.
that mean?
You look like your grandmother has a basement.
When you see it, you know it.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly.
You have had root beer, though, right? You've now tried it.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
I have on Mystery Crate a couple episodes ago. Go back in the archives. You can check it out. I tasted a bunch of drinks that I'd never had before, and that root beer was a vomit.
And if I understood your review correctly, it had a minty flavor
It tasted
to
like toothpaste.
That's interesting. I will generally, when I am, because just to be clear, I am not so dorky that I would go on to IMDb and argue about Breaking Bad or otherwise. I'm busy making my list about the best position groups and stuff like that, and ice cream rankings. And mint chip is at the top of the pile.
Love mint chip.
I don't like it though. When my wife, when I meet it, she'll let me taste it. She's like, still tastes like toothpaste.
Yeah, it's gross.
It has like a freshness to it.
And then it gets in my head and it ruins my ice cream eating experience.
Cookies and cream is the only
The
appropriate
goat.
answer.
The goat.
Cookies
The only
and
good
cream.
answer. Come on.
Yeah, it's got to be maple walnut. Sorry.
A good new entry into the conversation.
Maple
Churro.
walnuts.
Yeah.
Churro, because what we were talking about is cinnamon ice cream, and that makes the winner stand. It still goes mint chip 1, and I think churro has now scratched itself above even coconut.
How can a flavor I've never heard of be your favorite?
You've never heard of maple walnut?
It's a great ice cream, Zaz.
I've never heard
I'm the only one.
Never had it. I've heard him say it my whole life. I've never
Maple
had it.
walnut.
I've
is
had
never-
maple walnut. It's
Greg's
really
right
good.
about
Greg's
this.
absolutely
It's
right.
especially big in the New England area, but you can get it. The Publix has it. I mean, you can get it down here. It's divine. It's what I would call an adult ice cream. You know,
Absolutely.
this churro and mint and all this stuff is not adult ice cream.
Greg, you're talking about adult ice cream to a man who looks like he carries a 2-liter of Coke with him wherever he goes.
That's bullshit. I don't
Hey,
drink
look how
soda.
he's dressed. Do you think this guy knows about maple walnut and adult ice creams? No way.
Zaz, here's what I want you to know. Here's the good news. Amin clearly has self-esteem issues. He goes at you about having a soda drinker's body. He calls other people unnamed. He refers to them as Muppets. You know, that reflects poorly on him ultimately, not on us.
I'm just an adult along with Greg Cody.
Thank you, Amin.
So you're all settling on me being the one who would spam the rating on IMDb?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Of the 7, how many we got in here? Of the 8 of us, yeah, you're my vote.
I
You and
think
Jeremy.
Jeremy might as well. I think Jeremy.
In the
might.
whole other room, then I don't think you'd be in there. Then Rose would be.
I've got Jeremy on Blue Sky posting about
Obviously.
it. I don't have him actually going into IMDb because everyone knows that is a haven for people on the alt-right.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. It's 3rd and goal. You just got a personal foul. You're backed up to the 25-yard line. You're down 4. Do you take 2 shots into the end zone, or do you back it up to the 43-yard line?
It's going to ruin the game.
Yeah.
It's going to ruin the game.
It makes the game so much more
What
fun.
do you do? Answer the question. Do you take the 2 shots into the end zone, or do you back it up to the 43-yard line to set up a 4-point kick?
So you're telling me you think it's good for the game that on that 2nd down, the quarterback is going to run backwards 15 yards and then fall down?
Well,
You think that's good for the game?
Depends on who my kicker is. If I have automatic Al, I'm doing that, man. Give me back there. Hell yeah. You know what we're going to do? I'm not even going to do that. I'm just going to have a running back all the way back there and get the long snapper and have him long snap the hell out of it.
And that's good for the game.
I don't want
Wait
anyone
for
to
the
get
game.
hurt with the actual play being run, so I'm just going to say something really offensive to an official. Get a penalty.
Well-
15 yards.
Well, I've also done some digging. The UFL chat has helpfully pointed out that you cannot run backwards to set up a punt because, remember, they've outlawed punts from inside the 50. So if you're like right there in no man's land, some team might take the same logic and be like, well, let me back myself up. It won't work like that. You're not allowed to punt. Even if you get backed up by penalty or by runs, like you're still committed.
I
No
like
punts.
this. I like this. I like this because punts, not fun. But long kicks, fun. To win the game, it's such a ballsy move to say, I know we've got 2 strikes at it. Nope. Going to use one to go backward, and then I'm going to trot out, what's him? Anderson?
Automatic Al,
Brandon
you
Aubrey.
said.
Or Brandon Aubrey or someone like that. Or what's my man from, Vinatieri. Oh, get him out there, man. Oh, what about Sebastian Janikowski? He was born for this. I get him out of retirement. Sebastian Janikowski, I've seen him hit like 90-yard field goals before a game when he was at Florida State.
You saw him make a 90-yard field goal before the game.
When he was at Florida State, yeah. He used to. So what he used to do is they would like literally where the kickoff is, he would kick through the uprights from where the kickoff spot was. He is the most incredible kicker I've ever seen in my life, and that's the reason why he went first round as a kicker. Think about that.
Another half-a-foot guy, right?
Because the Raiders were in the league. That's why he went first overall. Here's the fundamental flaw with all these kicking-related things is that we have convinced ourselves because of circumstance that it's exciting. Obviously, when your team wins at the gun on a field goal, you're excited about it. It is not the most exciting way to end football games. We're consumed by phrases like sudden death, and that sounds great. What would be better, what would be more satisfying ultimately is to play. Yes, that you read my mind. No, would be to play out the full overtime. To play out, we should effort to marginalize kickers, not to enhance their role in football games. It's too much, as I already said. When guys were going out there to make 38-yard field goals, and there was some doubt about their ability to do that, that was an interesting element of the game. The fact that you can run a guy out there because you barely got across midfield and come away with 3 points is not the way that the game was laid out in the minds of
the punter.
The creators of the game did not imagine that there would ever be human beings out there nailing 65-yard field goals with consistency.
You know what the creators of the game also did not imagine? A guy throwing the ball to someone down the field.
I know.
Life evolves. Life finds a way. You got to let it find a way here. You don't like the strategy?
The forward pass improved the game. My point is kicking from 65 yards and making 75% of them is not a satisfying outcome for the sport ultimately.
Who do you hate more, kickers or punters? For me, it's easy.
Punt, punt,
You hate punters?
I think we've phased them out here with this new rule. Punt. So, yeah, maybe we boosted the credentials of the kicker on your roster, maybe just a little bit more, made them a little bit more important. But we've effectively killed the punter. Punt. And this is good. By the way, the UFL chat has reached out to a current UFL head coach, ran that very same scenario. What would you do? 2 shots into the end zone or back your team up for a 4-point kick? And he said.
What'd he say?
What he said? That's my gimmick.
He would take 2 shots into the end zone.
Wow.
See?
That's a coach right there. What a chat having access to a coach.
It is. That's it. It is a great chat.
I can't believe there's a UFL chat.
But, like, you guys are assuming that everyone's going to do it the new way. No, that's the beauty of it. Is there going to be traditionalists? They're going to be traditionalists that, no, we're going for the end zone. And then there's going to be one wacky guy, maybe a Mike McDaniel of the UFL, who says, wait a second, guys, watch this. And when they do it, and everyone's like, what are they doing? Oh, my God, they just got a big penalty. Oh, no, the kicker's coming. They're going for a 4, and then he hits it. And everyone's going to lose their mind. I don't know why you guys hate fun so much on the show.
The 7 people in the stands are going to lose their minds
you
watching
hate fun.
this UFL nail biter. Exactly. This is an entire losers conversation that I refuse to participate in any further because you're talking about the UFL, which is desperate enough to do something so foolish as this. Listen. The AFL mattered, the USFL mattered, and those are the only 2 side leagues that ever mattered in pro football.
Buddy, let me tell you something. You calling us losers? You wanted Canada to win. You're
That
the
is
biggest
true.
loser.
That is true.
USA.
That is true.
I did not.
USA. USA.
Even Jeremy's chanting.
USA. I'm 10 USA too. Listen.
Traitor.
There was an asterisk. How dare you? I put an asterisk next to that if one player, Sidney Crosby, could score the goal.
In what sweater?
A Canadian sweater.
Okay, that's all you got to say. You're done.
Traitor.
You're done.
Hey, guess what? I'll go one further. I'll go one further than that.
What,
Don't-
red,
you
white,
better
and
not.
blue,
What, Benedict
great.
Arnold? What you got for us now?
Red, white, and blue, great. Black and gold over red, white, and blue all day for this
Wow.
guy right
Look at
here.
this guy.
That's exactly
the
right.
ultimate capitalist. Me above we.
No, I'm rooting for my region. Think globally, act locally. That's what I'm rooting locally. I'm rooting for.
I'm with you.
The banks of the 3 rivers.
2
is where-
traitors.
is where-
I'm
is
with
what
you.
counts
2
for me.
traitors.
Not the black and gold part, but in
I
theory,
hear
I'm with you.
Right. Sure. Of course.
Shame. Shame on both
Although,
of you.
Greg
How
Cody,
is it shame? Like, I would rather the Panthers win a Stanley Cup than the U.S. win gold at the Olympics. I mean,
They've
like,
won-
whatever.
You won 2 already.
They've won 3. This is their 3rd gold medal ever.
I understand.
And on the other hand, Greg Cody in Vegas waking up at 5 a.m. to
Yeah.
watch the
You know,
American.
True
Patriot
patriot right
Real
there.
American right
Real
there.
Thank you
American.
for your service.
Yes. I was chanting USA the entire game. My wife goes, shut up. I want to hear the TV. It was a wonderful game. I was so thrilled to get up that early. And how about Connor McOverrated?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Take that.
0 points in all the games that matter.
How about that?
Mike, you have the balls to say right now that you would rather the U.S. won that gold this weekend than the Panthers win another Stanley Cup. Do you have the balls to actually say
I'm
that?
not here to be deposed.
I'm asking you a question.
I like winning gold, baby.
asking you
That
a
was awesome.
I'm asking you a
Why do
question.
I have to
Patriot.
pick one? What is this?
Because you got to choose.
I gotta choose.
Don't ask me that.
I don't have to choose. No one loves this country more than me. Nobody.
Nobody.
And that's why I was there.
Your non-answer
as a
is
service
your answer.
to all us libs out there. While Clay Travis is taking photos from 11, while people from the right are lifting this team up to propagandize them and normalize their agenda, I was there for us. Pushing the lib agenda, saying we could be just as patriotic. You
Yes.
should be thanking me, not asking me
Yes.
mind benders.
Man of the people.
Not like you.
Clay Travis was there?
Loser. You. Yeah, I'm talking to
How
you.
am I
Zach.
a loser?
Because
You're
you would
Canadian.
rather. Yeah, exactly.
I'm not Canadian.
Yes,
You
you
are.
are.
You have dual
Yes, you are.
citizenship.
Anti-American.
Show us your passport.
I was born here, and my passport says United States.
Well, I don't know about that.
What
I
does
heard
the
a
other one
rumor
say?
there's another
Santa
one.
Fe College.
That's bullshit. You know that. Don't bring that bullshit.
Is that
to
the
me.
bullshit?
That's the bullshit right there.
You're Canadian, too.
I think that red passport is the bullshit.
I'm not Canadian, and my father hears you say is be very angry at you.
Closet Canadian.
I think Amin, the man looking back at him in the mirror, is the liar. And I think Tony, the man looking back at him.
You know
in
about
the
that man
mirror
looking in the
is a
mirror?
Is a
All about the
liar
man in
as
the
well. If you think
Man in the
that
mirror's
you,
never lied to me.
you would well, listen, if the guy looking back at you in the mirror is telling you that you deep down would rather have the USA gold over a Stanley Cup,
I would
think that's a
absolutely
liar.
want the USA
I
gold
think
over a
that's a
Stanley
lie.
Cup. I don't care about the Stanley
Some of us
Cup.
love this country.
Exactly.
So
That's
much.
right.
That's
Some
right.
of us love this country so much that on a Monday night, they would go to a gentleman's club and be surrounded by liquor, vices, butts, just to show you and the right-wing media that people on the left can get down with it too.
Can I tell you something? Back in 1980, I was a wee lad.
Go on.
And I have no GD explanation for how this happened, but my old man was working with the Pittsburgh Penguins. But somehow, of all the human beings who could have done this, my old man was asked, and I was in the car with him, to give Olympic champion Mark Johnson, the great goal scorer from the 1980 U.S. team,
Of course.
to give him a ride. I don't know where we were, that we had to transport him. I don't think it was the airport, to the Civic Arena to
A
pick
lot
up
of
his
extra
car.
details in this story.
I was in a car with Mark Johnson like 48 hours after he put the gold medal on. I was essentially Cash Patel before Cash Patel.
And I had to see my way through a sea of cock to order a tequila soda lime because I love this country that much.
Everybody, they cleared out of the way. Look at the guy with the pretty eyes. Here he comes.
No, there was a lot of, I know you hate this, but let's take this picture. I know you hate this, but let's have small talk. And I did that because it was my civic duty as a patriot.
Thank you for your service.
As someone that loves the United States of America more than you can ever imagine.
That's not a USA sweater you're wearing. It's a Florida Panthers one.
My USA is soaked.
That's right.
Soaked in sweat.
And champagne.
And champagne.
And tequila.
Tequila.
And cigar smoke.
There was so much cigar smoke.
Oh, my
I
God.
did that for you.
Was there a player you were forced to kibitz with last night?
I don't know what that word means.
Yeah, chat.
Chat with? No. I did. I was given the mic reluctantly, and I was told to say something in Spanish.
Shout out
and
to
I
DJ
did.
Genesis.
Oof, put you in a bad spot there.
Hold on.
It was. I wish I would have done like the call and repeat. Colombianos. Like I would have gotten a nice little pop there. I just started chanting Libertad, and that went over.
Yeah. Now I've got a theory about this. Our buddy DJ Genesis, who I've learned last night is the official DJ for the Panthers. I know him. I've been knowing him from the streets, and I was like, wait a second, why does he have a ring on his finger? And I was like, oh, snap. Put two and two together. So he's like, oh, shout out Mike Ryan. He's here. Oh, shout out to Dan Le Batard Show. And he's, oh, shout out Amin. Amin's here. Everyone's here. And he said, Mike, get in here. And he's like, hey, we're in Miami. So if you guys aren't from Miami, welcome to Miami. This is how we do things. Mike, say some shit in Spanish. And I was like, I don't think Mike speaks Spanish like that. But I'm like, maybe I don't know Mike as well as I thought I did. And as soon as Mike went up there and said, Libertad! I was like, oh, no, he's got nothing.
No, it worked.
He's going right.
It worked.
Dan
It
Libertard.
worked. But it was like I thought it was. I was telling you earlier. I thought he was gonna like
He'll
set up with the
crossover,
right
little
and then
hezzy.
cross over the left. Oh my God, his Spanish is amazing. I was like, nope, he just kept going right.
Yep.
But it did work. You
Yes.
did get it.
Look, I keep them on their heels. And, Greg, you'd be proud of me. I did end it all with a let's go States.
Did you really?
I did.
Nice. Yes. I am proud of you.
Can I, speaking of rooting interest and such, I was at the hotel bar last night, and I met a lovely couple and was yapping about this, that, and the other. And at one point I said to the guy, take a look at this. I said, so you're a Tide fan? And he became outraged. And he said, a Tide fan? How could you say such a thing? And I said, well, your hat is clearly an Alabama Crimson Tide. And he turned it around and he said, no, it's an Atlanta Braves hat.
Oh, that's obvious. No, that was
Bad
obvious.
color, though. That's not
It's a
Braves
white
color.
hat with red,
Yes.
with crimson.
No, shame on the Braves.
Crimson A.
That's
Shame
a
on the Braves,
very
yes.
obvious Atlanta Braves logo.
No,
You
it's
thought
not.
that's
Know
an
your
ob-
fonts.
It was the
Know your
first thing
fonts,
I
sir.
thought.
But you don't
When
wear
you
a white
said
hat.
Alabama-
The Braves don't wear white hats. They wear navy hats. That's what I said to him. I said, go get the proper hat, and then this mistake won't happen again. You'll have this conversation again 0% for the rest of your life if you wear the Braves hat. You're wearing a white hat with a red A on it. Of course, I think
Why
that's
is it
an
the background
Alabama
on your
Crimson
phone?
Tide. It was a wonderful night.
Let me make
It was a
that my
wonderful
wallpaper.
night,
That is how it happens with Dave when you meet him out in public. He'll just start yelling at you like that.
And now you're his wallpaper on his phone.
Well, he had a lovely night with that couple.
I mean, I'm glad you're here today. I know you were here yesterday, but I was not here yesterday. I'm glad you're here today because last week, I wanted to get into the Kevin Durant, Twitter stuff, but we trust you and your sources and your NBA knowledge, and you told us that it's bullshit, that it's it's Kevin Durant. It's not yes, he has had burner accounts before, but this is not one of those cases where he's saying things about former teammates. So I'm glad you're here today because I do want to get some more of your thoughts on how this discourse with Kevin Durant, it's not going away, is it?
So Zaz, this is an interesting thing. You know about that X-Files? Yeah. You remember the X-Files?
Yeah.
Do you remember the X-Files movie?
I saw that, yeah.
X-Files movie came out a few years after the X-Files show stopped.
They finally slept together in the movie.
Yes, they did. But the big thing about the X-Files movie,
It's the only reason to make the movie.
the marketing campaign was a bunch of posters of famous kind of conspiracies, like a UFO and Loch Ness or whatever, and just the tagline, I want to believe.
Right.
I want to believe. Incredibly prescient, because that is the era we're in now. Forget about fake news or whatever. We're in an era where you don't even have to concoct a elaborate ruse to trick people. You can just say, I think he did it. And because people want to believe it, that's all they need. I was texting with Dan this weekend, and Dan was like, I don't know. And I said, Dan, what's the evidence? Well, everyone's talking about it. I said, Dan, everyone's talking about it like it's him, but I've never seen anyone connect the dots the way we did when we found out Brian Colangelo's burner, when he was a GM of the Sixers.
Find a new slant.
Yeah, we don't have anything. We just have people saying, well, yeah, he doesn't like his teammates. That's it. So this belief comes solely from the fact of belief and not from anything else. And I think all of us, I was going to say people in the media or whatever, but all of us, we should ask more of one another than to simply believe something because it sounds like something that makes us happy. Like, oh, yeah, I'd love it. I'd love the idea that Kevin Durant is killing his teammates this way. But the reality is, beyond, like I said, the people I talk to and also the syntax of the tweets, which is like, that's not how he tweets. That's not how he talks. I've seen him talk shit about people, both on the record, off the record, behind the scenes, right? And through a burner also. He doesn't talk about people with full names. I miss Ben Simmons. He never would say that. He never would say those that way. So, but beyond that, that's just me using, my deductive reasoning and logic. I'm just asking anybody who actually thinks it's him, all right, what's your proof? Other than he had a burner 5-6 years ago. There's nothing. And we just have to hold each other to a higher standard of, look, it's a funny joke. I'm with you for the jokes. The jokes are forever. I don't need fact behind jokes. That's why you got a soda drinker's body. Whoa. But if we're talking about facts and reality, there's none of that associated with this story.
I think we believe this solely because it fits the narrative of how we perceive Kevin Durant and his career and everything he's done. And to me, that's what makes AI so potentially dangerous, is that AI often fits the narrative. Mm-hmm. And if it does, we're more apt to believe it and not even question it. Scary.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. And also AI through videos, through AI slop, let's just call it what it is, can provide people the evidence that prior had been unavailable. It's like, well, here's a video of him talking about it when it's not real.
Why didn't he just say, it's not me?
I don't know. My guess is people told him, hey, don't talk about it. It'll go away. And sure enough, by the way, the LaMelo Ball accident took over Twitter and Instagram and Threads.
So KD liked the accident.
Yeah.
Well, of course. It distracts.
They say if you really want something to go away, don't give it any oxygen.
Because the other reality of this era beyond I want to believe is what's next. People are always on to what's next. And unless it's something massive, and even massive things. Man, I work with Pablo on real journalism, real fact-finding, real unearthing about this Clippers aspiration cap circumvention allegation. And people are sick of it. Like, oh, find something new. Like, we're finding new information,
but
real
thank
information.
goodness for that work that you and Pablo are actually doing, because as I've talked with him about, we now accept insiders who give out the information only that agents and teams want to be issued to the public. They now count as journalists in this weird new reality when, in fact, they're not journalists. They're just passing off spiked thoughts from parties that are incented to pass those off. And you have the wealthiest, the most affluent people at ESPN announcing into a microphone, who needs reporters? They're bringing us down, man. We don't need actual reporting. It's just sports after all.
Sad state of affairs. Greg, I'm curious, were you ever, I know you've been a columnist for a while, but were you ever a newsbreaker in any way? I know that the landscape has changed, but was newsbreaking ever a part of your repertoire?
There was at one time.
that's probably the reason they kicked me upstairs to be a columnist, is that when I was a reporter, I wasn't breaking big stories. Now, I did cover UM football from 84 to 88 when there were a lot of off-field arrests. And so one of my sources was a guy for the campus police. And, yes, I did break a fair share of.
Do you have like a top 3 stories you broke?
Who hated you the most?
Like if I were to ask you right now, what are the 3 breaking news that come to your mind immediately that you used?
Yeah, well said.
I would not. No, because they're minor stories.
What?
I was
Why
not
couldn't
a
I
major
say that
newsbreaker.
properly?
I traded Marino. Does that count?
It was a big one.
That's
Not a
column.
report.
I think it was a report.
That was an opinion.
So regrettable opinion is what that was.
No, it wasn't. I also.
It wasn't regrettable?
No, hell no.
How is it not regrettable?
I
We
don't
saw what became of Scott Mitchell.
I don't regret it to this day. I think history and the way everything played out exonerated my opinion. Now, to this day, Dan Marino doesn't really like to talk to me much. But, nevertheless.
Does he like to talk to anyone?
I think I was right. I think in retrospect, they should have traded Marino when they had a chance to get a windfall for him.
The unthinkable.
I'm going to try and distract from my mistake. And, Tony, today is your lucky day. That means we're doing Bet the Castle. So why don't you go?
You look
I'll
hungry.
cook something up, yeah.
You look
Take
hungry.
your position. I'm very jealous.
I'm jealous. Let me go do it.
I love Bet the Castle. Nope, you stay right there.
I would love to do
Tony's
that.
going to do it. Tony will get set up for Bet the Castle, and we'll talk to you in a moment.
I've just learned that Greg Cody advocated for trading away Dan Marino.
You don't know this story?
Bring the
I've
article.
seen the article hanging on the wall.
Yeah,
You can read
Pittsburgh
it.
guy over here. All
Wow.
upset because he's a Pittsburgh guy. That's the only reason
No.
he's upset.
NFL teams in 1983 called my home to talk to my old man to see if the rumors about Dan Marino were true.
Why don't
about
you
the
read
off-
some of it?
field
That's the
stuff.
column
I'll
right
read this,
there.
yeah.
You can read it quietly. Just let us know your thoughts.
Trade. By the way, this is after a Dolphins win. That's my favorite part.
Yeah.
Dolphins 30, Chiefs 10. The unthinkable.
This is back in what, 93? Is this 93-ish?
Something like that.
93.
Greg and I have discussed this before. My hot take where Marino's concerned is that Don Shula failed him. The legend Don Shula, and I don't know if this gets me in hot water in Miami to say so, but Don Shula flopped for the entirety of Dan Marino's career and cost the number one reason.
It's a pretty common thought down here.
Is it? Oh, okay. I didn't know. I didn't know if that
Didn't get him
counted.
the defense, didn't get him a running game. Yeah, it's a common thought.
No,
Okay, well, excuse me, Zaz.
I'm backing you up here. I'm saying
Booing you.
That's not something that people would be mad that you said about Shula.
Okay,
That's what
no.
I'm saying.
I think it's absolutely true because when Shula was very old, the last interview I ever did with him before he passed away was I asked him, "What's your biggest regret?" And he said that I could never win one for Danny. So I think he realized he had somebody that if he had given a better defense to or a running game. I asked Marino once, who was the best running back you ever played for? And there was an awkward 10 or 15 second silence before he finally answered. I think he said Tony Nathan. But he never had a Ricky Williams or a great running back. He never had a top 5 defense, I don't think. And so that's tough.
Chris, do you have that audio I messaged you about?
If I were to ask you right now, what are the 3 breaking news that come to your mind immediately that you used?
Yeah, well said.
I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight. Like, I'm going to be lying down in bed
One
trying
more
to
time?
sleep. If I were to ask you right now, what are the 3 breaking news that come to your mind immediately that you used?
Yeah, well said.
I'll be lying in bed staring up at the sky like
You used.
and then I'll go check my phone and people are going to be making fun of me on Twitter.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown.
Yeah.
That big ass head.
Big ass crown.
As I continue to try and distract, let's go out to Tony. Let's do Bet the Castle.
Can we play it one more time before we go to Bet the Castle?
If I were to ask you right now, what are the 3 breaking news that come to your mind immediately that you used?
Yeah,
It's a
well said.
disgrace. There's nothing I can do the remainder of this show that's going to cover that up.
That was terrible. But you know what's not terrible? White Castle burgers, baby. We're doing Bet the Castle, baby. Let's go.
Love me some White Castle.
So, The NBA is in full swing. Second half is starting right now, and we're going to be looking at the NBA MVP and the odds for NBA MVP. Amin, I know you know about this. Zaz, you probably know about this, but there's a threshold that NBA MVPs need to make as far as games played. I'm going to go through dumb threshold. I completely agree, but a very current situation for a lot of the top guys in the NBA race right now. So you got Jokic, who only needs to miss one more game to be disqualified. Wemby misses 4 games, he's disqualified. Luka misses 5 games, he's disqualified. SGA, who's going to be reevaluated with a core muscle injury, 6 games before he's disqualified from winning MVP. So that leads Cade Cunningham with 11 games that he would need to miss MVP. He's right now in most sportsbooks at plus 500 to win the MVP. And if you're giving me value, Jaylen Brown is at plus 3,000 in a lot of sportsbooks. Obviously, he's been playing a ton, and I think the race is really between those two, because if I tell you Jokic misses one more game, I'll be like, yeah, I agree. Wemby misses 4 games, he could miss a month. It doesn't matter. SGA, the same. They're trying to keep him healthy. Luka, I don't think he's going to win the MVP anyway. But I'm going to take Cade Cunningham at plus 500, and I did all of this stuff without pressing the 60 seconds for the.
We were thinking about that.
But that's fine because I can. Yeah, but I can redo it. So
no, that's okay. Like, I mean, are we going to get to a year? Like, I originally liked the 65 games. Now I think it's a major problem. I think they have to get away from it, because I think what's going to wind up happening is, like, if whoever, maybe it's Cade Cunningham who winds up winning it because you have other guys who are disqualified. In 5 years from now, 6 years from now, we're going to remember Cade Cunningham won that fake MVP because he only won it because the other guys who really deserved it were disqualified. Like, that's going to be the narrative.
You know, the weird thing is no one ever remembers that. No one ever remembers.
People say that about Derrick Rose's MVP.
No, they don't. People just say Derrick Rose is the youngest MVP ever. Now, people here remember that LeBron was way better, and it was just
we are the best.
The PR campaign was heavy against him for that first year. But
not only that, I mean, really quick, Steve Nash. I know that's your guy.
Don't do this.
I know that's your guy. But if you look at his stats, the second
not about stats,
the second MVP,
not about stats.
LeBron had 31, 7, and 6. What are we talking about?
We're talking about a team that people thought was going to make the playoffs.
The microwave. The best favorite time of day.
There it was. So, I mean, do you like Jaylen Brown at plus 3,000, or do you like Cade Cunningham at plus 500?
I like Cade Cunningham at plus 500, man. That's really. I feel like that's a safe one.
Thank you for researching that. That is actually a good play. You outlined the case.
And that's Bet the Castle, which is presented by White Castle.
Circumstantially, though, the Jaylen Brown argument should be better or should be more prominent than it is.
I'll tell you what's working against Jaylen Brown. There's 2 things working against him. Number one is statistically, there's not a strong argument for him.
Chris Cody has more to say.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Bet the Castle is presented to you by White Castle. Hunger says eat, cravings say eat this. And with White Castle's 100% beef, grilled onions, melty cheese, and steamy buns that hold it all together, how can you not crave thy castle?
Support those that support us.
Thanks, Dan's conscience. So, number one, there's a statistical argument that his stats aren't strong enough efficiently enough. Number 2, he does not move the needle in terms of plus minus. All the advanced metrics don't really have him high. He's I'm not saying he's bad, but it's just not elite. Number 3, the on-off is particularly damning, that the Celtics perform pretty well when he's not on the floor versus when he is on the floor. So it's not like a Jokic thing where it's like when he goes off the floor, it falls apart. But the biggest thing, he's campaigning too much, man. Yeah. The guy talks about it left and right. Everyone who's voting is like, shut the hell up. And that's the biggest thing, the thorn in his side.
I had to say, not now, but maybe check back a little later, at least 8 times last night. And I did that for America.